Hi everyone, welcome to Nova's Tarot Corner. I'm Gianna. I play Nova Grimmery in our stream Twitch Slays D&D, and she's a master tarot card reader.
Yeah, and I'm Ciara. I'm one of the executive producers of Twitch Slays D&D, and we were inspired by Gianna's character's love of tarot and decided to learn tarot for ourselves.
And we're beginners. We're not like super professionals, so
no.
Take everything with a grain of salt. We're doing this for fun, and
yes, all the readings are for entertainment purposes only. We are not telling anybody to go sell their house and start a new life with any of these readings.
Correct. Perfect. Yeah. If anyone has any questions, feel free to sound off in the chat. We do have, I think, some new viewers, new followers and such. But we do have 4 categories: general, love, career, and finance. So if you want a reading on one of those categories, let us know and we will put you on a list.
There is a panel underneath the video, or you should see the little black and white icon above the chat. You just have to click join. You might have to grant permission to the extension, but that'll put you on the queue and you can see how many people are above you. And if you're really in a hurry, you can use bits to push yourself up in the chat, and we're just gonna go down that list and do them one by one.
Yeah. I will be picking some questions because that's how we're doing it.
Yeah. So for anyone that is new, this is also just chatting. So like we're gonna talk and like decompress in between readings, because obviously like readings can be very emotional or full of like energetic, and so we take little breaks in between each reading. So we're not gonna just go boom 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 through all of them, but we come up with questions and we ask each other those questions, and we ask the chat that question as well, and we just get to know each other a little bit more.
Yeah, it's super fun and very like low-key and chill, so.
And every once in a while we get a cameo from Rosie, who I just saw walk into the background.
Yeah, that's my cat Rosie. She's a little tabby. She's very feisty, so if you see her climbing up the screen, I'll point her out, and you'll see her coming through here every so often. So
yeah,
she's a little baby.
But so it looks like TK Digiboy is the first one on the list. They asked for a general reading, so I will get shuffling. In the meantime, I actually had a question because this came up in real life. It's kind of a silly question, but my first question to everybody is, are there animals that you would or would not eat? Like, a lot of people say like, oh, I'll try anything. And I'm one of those of like, if it's cooked up and served to me, I would probably try almost anything. But are there certain foods or animals that like you absolutely, no matter what, would not try at least once?
Yes. Dog, cat, any sort of like, I think pet animal, I'm like not okay with eating. Also, like, for some odd reason, well, not odd because it's one of my favorite animals, but dolphin.
Okay.
Or what was the other one? Elephant.
Oh.
Those are my 2 favorite animals.
Sir Bananas draws the line at people. Yes, that's definitely on the list. But that's literally where you draw the line? Would you literally anything else except people? Is that the only thing off the off limits? Yeah, I think dogs and cats is like the one that I hear the most, because it's like it's like an ethical, because people love their pets and so they can't imagine eating those. Mine is octopus, like raw octopus, because number one, I've seen those videos online of like a squid and then you pour the soy sauce on it and it like reacts like it's still alive, and I hate that. That grosses me out a lot. But also I've heard horror stories that like if you don't cook it enough, that the suction cups can like still be active and they can get stuck in your throat, and that also creeps me out. So
Wait, what?
Yeah, so I just don't have any, like, I mean, I would probably eat, like, deep fried calamari, something that's, like, so overcooked that it's, like, very clearly, like, fine. But I don't want it to look like the suction cups. Like, if I can see the shape of the tentacle, even if it's deep fried, I don't want it. It would have to be, like, little, like, balls so that I couldn't tell that it was calamari, you know?
I see. Yeah, you've never had calamari, though?
I think I probably have, but it's not often, and I don't really remember it.
Okay.
Or,
Got
like,
it.
I might have had it and not known that I had it, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Phoenix says their stepdad saw a segment on cooking American cicadas. What?
Ooh.
Ew, cicadas are freaking gross. They're like, ew. Like a little insect? Are you kidding me? No.
Yeah, you know
not
what?
about
I
eating
also probably would not eat insects. That's pretty gross.
Yeah, no, I'm not about eating insects either.
I'm trying. I should have, like, marked off where the camera is, because I'm kind of struggling here.
Oh. If I was forced to eat it, like an insect in order to survive, I might do it.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I don't know. It'd have to be pretty freaking survival based.
It would have to be cooked pretty good, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I'd be able to, like, eat a cricket or, like, a cockroach. That is just too much. Anyway.
I cannot get these cards straight to save my life. Anyway, so TK, this is your general reading. We have the Knight of Swords, we have the Page of Swords, and we have the Emperor. So I'm seeing a theme here.
Yeah.
So Knight of Swords is usually either talking about, this potentially could be you, because this is talking about a young man, someone who is kind of like no nonsense, very like logical, kind of refers to, you know, like logic and reason above emotion, someone that's a little blunt, maybe a little like frank, or this can mean an event that is bringing about unfortunate news. So in your past, I'm going to interpret this as like you were the Knight of Swords, you were a young man, you've always really thought of like logic and reason to be the most important, and TK Digiboy said, be right back, save this for when I return. Okay, so they stepped away for a moment. Do you want to ask another question while we wait, Gianna? Oh. I can't hear you. I think you muted yourself.
I definitely did, because I was eating.
Oh, hey, well, we appreciate that. Thank you. I'm gonna go back and look through some of the other answers from the audience. Sir Bananas will try anything at least once if it's not poisoned. So they literally do only draw the line at people. That's fair. Colosaurus, nothing illegal, poached or endangered, or unethical, like shark fin soup. I agree. That's also, I mean, like if someone served me up like bald eagle or, you know, like giant panda, I would probably have to say no, like, because they're endangered, you know, like I don't want to eat any rhinoceros or anything like that. Apparently cicadas taste like shrimp. Gross. No,
Whoa!
thank you.
I love shrimp.
I hear crickets can be good if you like sunflower seeds, but they're super crunchy. I do not. Have you ever had sunflower seeds? Like just as a snack?
Yes, I love them. I used to play baseball, and so that was what I like ate all the time.
I never had them as a kid, so I don't understand how you eat them. Do you like de-shell them in your mouth, or how do you just pop the whole thing and eat it?
Yeah, you de-shell it, so like you can either like, when I was a kid, I couldn't do it in my mouth, so I would like bite it and crack it in half, and then I would pull it apart and eat the seed. But now, after eating them for so long, I can like just have them in my mouth, crack them in my mouth, and then like pull the seed out with my tongue. It's kind of weird, but yeah, I'm pretty talented like that, no big deal.
I can't do it's like the like tying a cherry stem into a knot with your tongue. Like I just don't have the I don't have the mouth dexterity to do shells.
I mean, I can't do
seeds.
that. I can't do that either. I don't know how to do a cherry.
I had a
stem
friend that could unwrap a starburst in her mouth. So she just put the whole candy in her mouth, and she would unwrap the starburst in her mouth and then eat it, and then just have the wrapper left.
Wait, that is just a secret talent I did not know I needed to know about.
I mean, it's a party trick for sure.
Yeah. Dill sunflower seeds are so good. Same with the ranch flavor. Yes, those are my 2 favorite flavors. They're so good. Ranch and dill pickle, period. So yum. Oh my God.
Hi, the Comic Relief. Thanks for joining us. We are doing tarot readings. If you'd like to be put on the list, you can just click the join button on the Q Plus app underneath the video.
Don't mind me eating, y'all. I'm super hungry.
Hey, there's Rosie.
There's Rosie. Wait, come here. Hey, come here. Wait, come see the people. Come here.
All right. If TK is not back for a little bit, I might redo their reading. I might just kind of remember what the 3 were and then come back to it.
Yeah. I was gonna say, maybe can you take a picture or?
I cannot because I'm using my phone as my camera.
What was It was the
Knight of Swords, Page of Swords, and then the Emperor.
Okay.
Everybody in the chat, help us remember that. We're gonna move on to the next reading while we wait.
Wait, Knight of Swords, Page of Swords.
Yeah, and then Emperor. Unless TK comes back in the next minute. I'm gonna give 1 more minute. I do have tarot sleeves now, May Jester. After our last tarot corner, it took me so long to shuffle because I'm so used to shuffling cards that are sleeved, and I was so worried about like messing up the corners because I'm an aggressive shuffler. I went out and I bought a whole bunch of tarot sleeves. It has the very adverse side effect, however, that it creates a glare on the card when I tried to have my phone above them as the camera, because I have a light right here to help give me that nice 2-point lighting. So I had to like really jankily create like a cover between the light and the cards so that the light didn't create too bad of a glare. And so at any second, if I jostle my table too hard, it's all gonna come crashing down on me. You guys, just, keep that in mind. I probably could get matte card sleeves. I know they exist. So I am currently on an island where everything is like 20 to 30 minute drive away. And I went to just like the closest board game shop, and I was just happy that they had tarot sleeved sides cards at all, but they only had the one kind. And they are very shiny. So
got it.
All right, I'm going to shuffle these back in.
Thank you guys for sending me. There's been a couple of you sending me TK's reading card. So
thank you.
Thank you all. Great.
We're gonna jump to Demon Quinjar 91. I apologize if I did not pronounce that correctly. Sound off in the chat if you're here and let us know if you would like a general love, career, or finance reading. Career, awesome. So let me give that a quick shuffle. And did you have another question lined up, Gigi? Should I come up with another one?
Honestly, okay, wait, hang on. I had one and then I was like, wait, maybe it's not good enough.
No question is a stupid question. This is entertaining. We'll make it a good question.
What is a relationship deal breaker for you?
I mean, there's a lot.
Okay.
There's red flags galore. Like if he or she does not have a good relationship with their mother. That's a red flag. I don't know that it's a deal breaker. It's definitely a red flag. I mean, a deal breaker would be like if they wanted me to, like, give up on my dreams to be with them. Like any kind of situation where it was like, oh, you can have this really cool job, like a career of your lifetime, but you can't because you need to stay home and be with me. Like, hell no. Like, that's an automatic no thanks, bye.
Yeah.
Luckily, I haven't ever come across anybody that asked me to do that. But I probably would not have gotten that far in the relationship had I had sensed that they were capable of asking such a thing to begin with. What about you?
Very true. I think if they don't get along with my family, huge deal breaker.
Okay.
Huge deal breaker. I have people who have married into my family who, like, my family didn't get good vibes from.
Okay.
And they were like, okay, but like this person, we love them. They're happy. But when they got married, their significant other took them away from the family rather than like integrating themselves into the family. And that's like my worst nightmare because I'm super close with my family.
Okay.
And so if I had someone who was like, like, we're not going to be around your family anymore. We're only going to be around my family. I would be like, bye, psych. Like, absolutely not. So yeah, that's total deal breaker for me.
Okay.
Personally,
right.
I'm Italian. I have to.
That's a very good deal breaker. I'm glad that like you being that close to your family that that's something that you are adamant about.
Yeah.
Okay, so this reading is for Demon. By the way, we are doing 3-card readings, past, present, future. And this is a career reading. So in the past, you have the Star, which is one of Gigi's favorites. And, she can jump in and tell me if I'm wrong, but this is the Hope card, or like the Hope card. Oh, hey, thank you for the raid, Nucci.
Oh my God, hi, Nucci.
Hi, it's nice to see you. How was your stream? You were playing Kingdom Hearts, right? How far did you get?
Oh my God, how fun.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, give us a lowdown of how the game went. Anyway, so the Star talks about hope. So in a career, it seems like in the past you have an idea of what your like dream career would be. You have like maybe more of a lofty goal that you're aiming towards, and that's something that's really helped you to like keep you moving forward and really give you that drive that you need. So in the past and moving into the present, you're focused on that goal, you have that hope, you have that dream that you're really excited about. And Nucci's on Birth by Sleep. The story does get deep. I have played Birth by Sleep. It is very timey-wimey. So, okay, Demon, in your present, you have the 6 of Pentacles. And this card is talking about being in a place of financial stability, so much so that you can be generous to others. So this is a really, really great card to have in your present. It doesn't even necessarily mean, like, it doesn't have to be financial stability, but it could just mean, like, mental stability, emotional stability. It just talks about you are now in a place where you can help others around you. And this card is reminding you, like, make sure that you're taking a look at those that have helped you along the way and, like, remember to thank them. Or if you see the others around you that are struggling or aren't at, like, as a stable place as you, like, make sure that you reach out that hand of generosity and you're paying it forward, because you wouldn't be where you are today if it weren't for the help of others, and you can just as important, like, help somebody else. So maybe at your job now, like, you're at a place where you can kind of give someone a recommendation, or you can, like, help them with their resume, anything kind of career oriented like that, even if it's not financial. And then in the future, we have the Tower card. Now, this one is up for a couple of different interpretations, but what it basically means is that something that you have built your foundation upon is not stable, and therefore could come crumbling down on you. Now, because this is in the future position, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen, because, the future is can always be changed. So this acts as more of a warning. It's basically saying, like, if you build, your tower on sand and that tower comes crumbling down, you only really have yourself to blame. So in your present, because this hasn't happened yet, take a look at everything around you. Make sure that you're building up everything on solid foundations. Make sure that you're not you know, like putting your money in illogical places or in risky places. Make sure that you know, have stable financial like background. Don't be investing in like crazy things, because if it all comes, you know, tumbling down, there's not much you can do at that point. Yeah, and this could be, you know, negative in that maybe your career would come crumbling down, but it also can mean maybe like your career is going to change. Like maybe in a career reading, the Tower could mean that the thing that you really, really loved, like maybe that thing that you were hoping for with the Star card in the past, you realize that you don't love it anymore. And maybe that like change in foundation, or maybe that like crumbling is positive, because it's like you realize that this career isn't the thing that you want to spend the next 50 years of your life doing. And while it does mean that you have to backtrack and kind of start over from the beginning of another career, that's not necessarily a negative thing. It just means you gotta start from scratch. So that's kind of the warning for the future. You've built your hopes for your career upon something in your past that you're really excited about. Now you're at kind of a stable position in your present where you should make sure that you're helping others around you and always remembering like everyone that helped you along the way. And before the future happens, take a good look at what you're doing now. Make sure, do you really, really enjoy it? Is this what you really want to put, you know, 100% of your hopes and beliefs in? Is this something that you're going to enjoy for 50 years of your life? Before you get too far down that road, like, just stop and take stock. And hopefully you will find something that you really, really love to do, and you won't want to change your career down the line.
Yeah.
That's all what good. I got.
Great job, Sarah.
Yeah.
Great job. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Take what resonates, leave what doesn't.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting because I think last week, was it, or the last episode we talked about something about the person decided to stay in their profession for 50 years and realized.
Oh, yeah, the lawyer. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was talking to one of my coworkers about it because she came up to me and was like, I think I want to go back to school. And it was for something completely unrelated to what she had gone to school before for. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, love that for you. Like, live your best life. And if you're not happy right now, like, go back to school. And like, you wasted 4 years or 6 years, however many years she had gone to college for like physical therapy or athletic mm-hmm. training or whatever. And I was like, honestly, the 6 years, if you know, like, you realize, if it made you realize that you aren't happy with doing what you thought you would be happy doing, like, they weren't really wasted. It's just like, but you don't want to keep doing that for the next 30, 40 years.
Yeah,
because then you're still unhappy. And like, I don't know. So I told her that analogy and she was like, oh my gosh, like, that totally applies. And I was like, I know.
Yeah, it's the gambler's fallacy. If you're gonna waste 50 years of your life doing a job because you're afraid to waste the 6 years that you were in school, you know, one of those is greater than the other. Like, cut mm-hmm. your losses now before you mm-hmm. get in too deep. Lemon says, their husband quit his master's in physics to go back and get another degree in history, and that's how they met. Aww.
Oh my god.
See, sometimes it's not even about the career. Sometimes things like that can, you know, that's where you meet.
I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm just like a big, oh yeah, this couldn't have happened because, like, if this didn't happen, then this wouldn't have happened. And if this didn't happen, then da-da-da-da-da, like the whole, like, butterfly effect, kind of. Mm-hmm. I think I told you, if the pandemic never have happened, we would have never had this channel, and I would have never met you guys.
I would have never met you.
Sitting here, we wouldn't be sitting here chatting right now with like all of these beautiful people on the stream. So everything happens for a reason, even though the pandemic fucking sucks.
Yeah, we have to take our silver linings where we can, you know.
100%. Like, see the good in the bad. And mm-hmm. that like, honestly, like, during the pandemic, that was like the one good thing that like went right, I think.
No, I agree. I never would have made a Twitch channel had it not been for the pandemic, and I'm mm-hmm. so freaking amazed every day, like, how much it's grown and how fun it's been, and like all the cool things and all the people that I've met because of it. Like, honestly,
it's insane.
I still would have been probably like either working at Disney or I would have gotten some other job that wouldn't nearly be like so cool and creative and like that I have control over in such a way, you know?
Yeah. Well, even, okay, getting a little like into my life a little bit, like if the pandemic never happened, I wouldn't have been laid off from Disney. And if I wasn't laid off from Disney, I wouldn't have had my job right now. And if I didn't have my job right now, I wouldn't have met the guy that I'm currently dating.
Yeah,
so like it really just, everything happens the way it's supposed to. Some things are meant to be. And I love it.
Yes. So yes. A couple of other people are also sharing their COVID stories of all the things they wouldn't have done. Free range TV would have never started painting minis on Twitch. Magikarp wouldn't have tuned in and made friends with all of us, and now is moving across the country at our constant berating and recommendation. Phoenix Raven would have never started to stream art. Like, there's so many positives. I know it's at one giant negative, but all the little positives I think add up to be greater.
But it's like, look at us, you guys. Like, we're just like having a fun time.
Oh, thank you, Lemon. Thank
Lemon.
You. Couldn't imagine life without you guys. We couldn't be doing this if it weren't for you. Amazing.
Oh, Lemon, you remember you wouldn't have found us if it wasn't. If we didn't have Nova's Tarot Corner, we would have never met you.
I know.
Like, oh my God.
Freaking crazy.
What the heck?
Speaking of Lemon, you are next on the list for a reading if you want to sound off what kind of reading you would like.
Period. Chess. Wait, I want to learn how to play chess.
I know the rules of chess, but I don't I don't know the strategy of chess. Like, I could theoretically sit down and play a game of chess, but I would not win with anybody that's like older than 4 years old or had ever played before. Because I'm just this piece could go here. Let's try it. I don't know any of the strategy to any of it, but
yeah.
It is very
Also,
important.
Gianna got me into TikTok. Oh my God, shut up. I'm my influence.
I got Devin into TikTok too. He would have never joined if I hadn't already been in it, like doing it.
And then guess what? We wouldn't have gone viral. Thank you, Devin.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have had my haters.
You don't have haters. Shush.
Oh my God, I loved replying to all my hate comments. That was so much fun for me. Incredible.
There's so many more people that love you though. Like on all the older TikToks, the ones that just fucking love your laugh.
Yeah. There were a lot of people like, oh my God, the yes and killed me on that TikTok. And I was
It was funny.
Thank you guys.
Okay. TK is back. So,
I'm gonna grab some water real quick.
Yeah, I'll go over it. TK, I don't have your cards out anymore because I've reshuffled them, but I do remember what they are, so I can just kind of talk through them. You had a general reading, I believe, and your 3 cards were the Knight of Swords, the Page of Swords, and the Emperor. So in your past, Knight of Swords, this is talking about a young man who values logic over reason. It's kind of blunt, a little, thinks in black and white, that kind of thing. I believe that this is you. It's just talking about, in your past, perhaps you've kind of thought in ways that are like, oh, there's a yes and a right or a wrong answer to everything. You didn't necessarily see in shades of gray as easily. In your present was the Page of Swords. Now, the Page of Swords could be referring to a young child, but I don't think that you probably are very close with a young child. So it can also mean a news, like receiving news. And the Page of Swords refers to getting disappointing news, or that news that you've been waiting for a very long time is being delayed. So you're kind of like sitting in this suspenseful state for a while. So because it's a general reading, I'm not sure what this news that you're waiting for is regarding, but in the present, either recently or in the very near future, you're going to receive, maybe you've had some disappointing news, or maybe you're kind of waiting on the edge of getting news about something and it's been taking longer than you would like. But in your future is the Emperor. And the Emperor is one of those major arcana cards that has like very, very strong energy. Obviously, like his counterpart is the Empress. So the Emperor talks about like, it's kind of the yin and yang, like stereotypical masculine energy. It's like that paternal like father figure, but it's also like it's got like CEO energy. It's very like someone who is in control, someone that like takes charge of their own destiny, like a self-made man kind of vibes. So it seems to me like, you know, whatever disappointing news that you've received in the present, you know, you are growing and maturing and changing, and you started off as this young man who maybe like saw more things in black and white. Maybe you were a little blunt. Maybe, you know, you were more worried about being correct than you were about people's emotions and feelings. But now, you know, you're going through the present, and in the future, you are going to become the emperor. You know, like you have everything inside you that you need to be that self-made man, that very like paternal energy, that it's very like leadership. It's got that very leadership, you know, man in charge, master and commander kind of vibe. So take that as you will. Being a general reading, I'm not sure what disappointing news that you've received recently, but it seems like you have the potential to get over it, and your future is going to be full of like a lot of promise and a lot of, you know, overcoming obstacles on your own and becoming the man that you want to be.
Yay.
Yeah. So simple mindset, awaiting news and control. I wouldn't say that the Knight of Swords is a simple mindset. It's more about like logic over emotion. It's about kind of like tunnel vision, like I know what's right, I know what's wrong. Kind of stubborn, kind of like it's like brain over heart kind of energy. It's not necessarily simple, just direct. And that was your reading, TK. Hope that helps you feel a little bit more enlightened. All right. And then Lemon, yes, Spock energy. That's a very good metaphor. Yeah, Spock definitely has like a swords kind of energy. Yes.
Spock.
Yeah. I was thinking like Ravenclaw, but then I'm like, but that's not a good metaphor because Ravenclaws are also artistic. But Spock from Star Trek is a very, very good metaphor for the kind of person that a Knight of Swords would be. Or a King of Swords as well.
Got it.
Yeah. So, Lemon also wanted general, so I will keep shuffling for that general reading. And
oh, I need to come up with another question.
Yeah, or if anyone in the chat has a question, feel free to ask us as well. Something that you want to know about us, or something that you want to ask the rest of the audience, we can start talking about.
Oh, I was gonna ask, what do we think about dating apps? Like, I feel like this is like a very like
polarizing.
You either love them or hate them, you know?
Yeah, I think in today's society they are kind of necessary because it's very difficult as an adult, I've discovered, to meet different kinds of people. Like if you don't have anybody, if you're not going to school, and if you don't have somebody at work that you're interested in, there's very few places to like be introduced to new people. And if there's no one in your like current circle that you are interested in, where are you going to find anybody new? So dating apps can be a little bit objectifying at times, because it definitely has like a online like catalog, like shopping for humans kind of vibe. But if you can not think of it that way and like remember that every single person on that app is human and also looking for love, I think they're useful. I mean, I know like one of my good friends from college met her husband on a dating app. And now they're married and having a baby soon. So, you know,
it works out for some people.
Yeah, I think not for everybody, but it can work.
Yeah, I think it depends on the person. Sometimes I think you're either like super like successful with dating apps, or they're just like really not for you. For me, they're not for me. I've had my parents be like, you should try dating apps. Like, oh, I heard they work so great. And like, I've tried dating apps and I'm like very scared of commitment when it comes to dating apps, because like, I like to meet people in person because
oh yeah, definitely.
You can get a vibe better, I think.
Oh yeah.
You can like you can get like a read of like their banter. I don't know, there's something about like forming a relationship with someone in person and then going on a date that's like a lot less intimidating than like going on a blind date with someone that you met online.
Right.
The worst date of my life was from an online date. It was horrible, and I after that like really never went back online because I was like, it's just not for me.
I think it also depends which app you use. Like if you use something like Tinder where the only thing that you have to match somebody on is a picture and like a very short bio, I'm not a big fan because that's very like now the beauty like that someone looks like is the entire like decision making like thing. It's just, are they pretty enough or not? When I was single and I was trying to, especially like when I first moved to LA and I didn't know anybody and I didn't have a job, so I couldn't meet anybody new. I was on a dating site for a while, and I really liked OkCupid because they have like hundreds of questions and people can go through and like answer those questions and then you can read their answers. And it does gives you a percentage of a match, not only based on like if their answer matched your answers, but you can also put how important the question is to you. So like, if it's a question that they don't match you on, but you don't care that much about that question, you can, scale it up or down to be like, oh, it's less important to me versus other things that are more important. And it just felt like it was more of a, like an accurate matching like service because, they're matching me not based on how these people look, but how closely they answered the questions the same way I did. So we think similarly, probably, hopefully. Yeah. Unfortunately, like, I only went on a couple of dates off of that site and none of them worked out, but it still was, for me, as someone, again, that's like more personality driven than looks driven, that was super helpful to have just like hundreds of questions to scroll through and be like, okay, I see how they think a little bit more. That's helpful.
Yeah. Well, even like, I don't like Bumble because I don't like making the first move. I'm very awkward and I don't know how to slide into someone's DMs.
That's fair.
Smoothly.
Yeah.
And have them respond and be like, oh, I'm intrigued. Because I would slide in thinking I was funny or cute and then they wouldn't respond.
Yeah.
And then it goes away after 24 hours.
Yeah.
So I was
that first opening line, it has to say so much.
Yeah, exactly. So I never went on Tinder because I was Tinder was mainly just for hookups by the time I got online dating. And then Hinge is a good one that I started using because it's you have 3 prompts.
Okay.
And people can comment on the prompts and you could do 2 truths and a lie or oh, my most my best vacation story was, and then you write a thing, and then you have a bunch of different pictures that you put in between the prompts. So
okay,
there was,
I've never been on
information.
Hinge. Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot more information. I would have people on mine. I said oh, I can do multiple accents. I'm really observant, and so I can do multiple accents depending on which one it is. And people would comment and be like, "Oh my God, what ones can you do?" And I'd be like, "Let me tell you." You know what I mean?
It gives you something as a jumping off point to talk about.
Correct. Yeah.
Magic Harp has been on Tinder for 5 years and does not have any luck. Sir Bananas is completely indifferent. TK is also still waiting to meet the one. Shotgun thinks it's super exploitive. I agree. There's a lot of ones that make you pay to have the premium service, and heteronormative beauty standards. Agreed. I hate that. That's why I don't like Tinder or the more photo-based ones. Magic Harp. I mean, the first sentence of my intro bio is local adult seeks to be hit by bus. I mean, hey, that's immediately gonna tell you if that person has a morbid sense of humor like all of us do. So that's a good place to start.
I would absolutely swipe right so quick.
Yeah, honestly, it's like, yep, I relate to that so much.
I'm like, ooh, relatable and so upfront so quick, right?
Phoenix Raven's husband is not impressed by OkCupid. I don't speak for the brand or the company. I just thought out of all of the dating services that I tried, that was the only one that I felt like I could get to know someone's personality, because I self-identify as demisexual, so like physical beauty helps, but I need to know your personality, and that was the only one that I found that I could get enough info about the person to actually care if I matched or not. Yeah, and shotgun location can matter in some of these apps, so if you're surrounded by white Trump supporters, there's not much you can do. That also sucks.
That is what happened on my date.
Ooh.
I was like, yeah, he like picked me up in his little pickup truck.
Oh no.
And I was like, ooh, like I didn't want to go on the date. Like I wanted to meet him, but he was like very insistent on like picking me up. And so like I was like, okay, I was like 19. So I was like very naive. And he picked me up. We went to like this bagel shop. We got bagels. And then he was just like, oh, like I love Trump and like, oh, MAGA. And I was like, oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay. And
That's
I just like I was like, okay, I'm just like gonna let him do his thing. I don't want this to be weird. And then he started like saying really weird shit. And I was like, okay, take me home. Take me home right now.
Yeah, as romantic as it is to have the dude pick you up, my mom always told me take your own car, because then you can bolt if you need to bolt. And I give that advice. Like, just I don't care how romantic it is, take your own car. I once had a match. I think it was like on Bumble or Tinder, where I didn't actually ever meet up with the guy, but we did have a phone call just to chat, and he immediately went into like, Hollywood is run by the Illuminati, and it's all a conspiracy, and like all of that, like literally like the entire government and like Hollywood media is being like pervaded by the Illuminati. And I was just like, hey dude, I've worked in Hollywood. I have been on television shows. I can swear to you, there's no He's like, no, it's like the higher ups, like the biggest, like the major high ups are Illuminati. And I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go now. Bye.
There's some really weird people in this world.
Yeah.
You know? It's just like, okay. Not
like, thank God I didn't meet up with that guy, because holy shit. You're gonna literally first phone call with a girl, you're gonna be like, here's my conspiracy board. I mean, it's a good way to know whether they're gonna be like the one or not, I suppose.
That's so true.
Yeah. That's exactly what the Illuminati would say, says Lemon. Hey, I mean, I have been, you don't know, I could have been indoctrinated by now.
Oh my god, that'd be such tea. Can you imagine?
I'm secretly in the Illuminati, and I have been this whole time. Christ. Okay.
Stay away from QAnon believers. Period. Oh my god. My mom didn't even know what QAnon was, and I was like, let me educate you, woman. Oh my god. She was like,
how much time do you got?
Are you sure? Yeah, because like where I come from, my hometown is like all like white conservatives, and so I was like, I can name every white bitch from my like middle school who's like a part of QAnon, straight up. It's crazy. So anyway, let's get to tarot.
Yeah, anyway, so we have Lemon's general reading. In your past, you have the Two of Pentacles, present is Ten of Cups, and future is the Hermit. So the Two of Pentacles is all about balance. It seems like in your past, perhaps, this is usually used for like work-life balance or like financial balance and like budgeting. So it seems like in the past, perhaps you've had like difficulty balancing your work life and your home life, or difficulty like having a career and a relationship, perhaps difficulty with like money, like with the necessities versus like things that you want and your pleasures. But now in your present, you have the Ten of Cups, which is like ideal. This is like perfect home relationship life. This is like literally the picture is of this like beautiful house with a rainbow and a family. This is basically saying in your present, like, you have reached this really, really great area of contentment with your home life and your relationships, and you know, perhaps a good balance of like career and work and life as well. And then in your future, you have the Hermit, and this is one of these major arcana cards that we actually have not seen a lot of. But the Hermit, as some people might think, does not mean, oh, you're going to be alone. The Hermit talks about self-reflection. It's like meditation, basically. The Hermit the card talks about like making sure that you give yourself time separate from the world to reflect on yourself and your own inner world. It's just warning like of the influences of external factors and how like that can kind of cause us to get confused within our own selves. And it just says like, take time to reflect on yourself, take time to meditate, take time to like separate yourself from the external outside world, and make sure that you are at one with yourself. So as for a general reading, this is, you know, kind of general, but what it's telling me is like, you know, you've had problems probably, you know, balancing work and home in the past, but now you're in this really good place in your relationship, and your home life in the present. And then just in the future, it's just like saying like, hey, make sure that you stay up to date with your mindfulness, stay up to date with your meditation, make sure that you continue to like self-care and meditate on like what you truly think and what you want, outside of external factors, so that you have a oneness with yourself. So all really pretty dang good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. With the Hermit, it's like, it is about self-reflection. It's not about like you're gonna be alone and like, oh,
no,
like that's so sad, that's so negative. It's not. It's like literally just like taking the time to like have me time. Yeah. And
make sure,
making it like, because honestly, like life is just like very draining if you don't have just like that time to yourself. Like it's a lot sometimes, and like I'm an extrovert and I like thrive off of like talking with people, but I can also get very drained from like going to parties and stuff. Like I just need like me time. I need to like be alone, just like reflect. Just like sometimes the best weekends I have are like not doing anything at all, you know? Yeah. Just like relaxing, watching Netflix all weekend, not being around anybody, picking up a book.
Oh, like, yeah, time to read is so luxurious now.
Yeah. I'm just
Miller,
like, the world is always going at 1,000,000 miles an hour, so.
Yeah. Hey, Miller, 4139. It's nice to see you. I did see you in one of Free Range's chats on one of his painting nights, so it's nice to see that you've come over and joined us for tarot. Welcome.
Yeah. Thanks for joining.
Yeah. And I do agree. I find that like I am also extroverted, but I am easily influenced. As like terrible as that is to say, like if enough people around me all think the same thing, I will find like myself being persuaded. Or like, you know, I can be kind of susceptible, not to like the media, like not in like a Fox News way, but like in like a fictional way. Like if, you know, there's a bunch of characters that are all like thinking a certain way, I'll start like thinking that way too, because I want to emulate my favorite characters. So the Hermit is like just always a good reminder of like, make sure that, you know, the outside world isn't directing you too much, and that you really think about what you as an individual like really think, away from all of those influences.
Yeah.
Sir Bananas, you are next on the list, so if you're still in the chat, let us know what kind of reading you would like while I shuffle.
Okay. Let me see.
It is always Miller time, according to Free Range. Yeah, I was in their chat when he had a guest artist. It was pretty funny, just, you know, them wanting Miller all the time because they kept thinking of you. General reading for Sir Banana. Okay, I will shuffle for a general reading.
your hair. Oh my gosh. There's just like so many like basic questions, and I'm like.
You want something a little spicier?
Everyone, what is your sign? Everyone, put it in the chat. I want to know what your zodiac sign is.
Thank you for following, Sir Angel. It's nice to see you here. Mine's a Taurus.
Hello. Yeah, you're a Taurus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an Aquarius. TK is Libra. Miller is an Aries. Rook the Bardling is an Aquarius. What the heck is up? Leo is Sir Angel. Aries like a boss. Shotgun. Phoenix, Taurus.
Yes,
oh my gosh.
Phoenix. Taurus power.
Lemon, Sun, Capricorn, Leo, Rising, Cancer, Moon. Ooh, okay. Yes, yes, yes. Aries, but I think my twin got all the fire. Twin? Ooh.
Wait, who has a twin?
Sir Bananas.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh. I love twins. They're so interesting. You shared a womb with somebody. That's crazy. Sierra's at the tail end of Taurus. Oh, yeah, that's true, huh?
I am. That's true. I am almost a Gemini. I'm on the cusp. Not a Gemini. No, yeah, I'm almost a Gemini. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's Gemini season right now.
Yeah.
I am an Aquarius Sun, Gemini Moon, and Gemini Rising. I know I'm all air. I'm kind of crazy. No big deal. Anyone who loves astrology, thank you very much. I'll be here all day. Yeah. And
Rook also has a fraternal twin. Wow, that's really cool.
Whoa, that's so sick.
Shotgun is a twin. Rook is a twin. Oh, wait, and who was the first person that was a twin? Sir Banana?
Sir Bananas. Whoa, there's so many twins here, you guys.
Twins. Holy crap.
Oh my god.
That's really cool.
Yeah. What the hell? That's sick. Miles is Sag by 2 hours. I love my Sages. Oh my gosh. The guy I'm dating is a Sagittarius. Let's see.
I have no idea what any of this means. I defer to you for all of this, Gigi.
It's my favorite thing in the whole world. I know like everyone at my work's zodiac sign, and like a majority of the people I work with are Cancers, and it's like, what?
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
No, it's not neither. It's like Taurus. Cancer is like very emotional, like very soft.
Okay.
Very emotional. They're a water sign, so like they, I don't know, just give off like what's it called? Cinnamon roll vibes, I would say. Where they're just kind of
cinnamon roll or like cinnamon roll?
No, like cinnamon roll. Like very like pure, very like emotional and like I want the world to have peace, you know what I mean? Let's see.
TK has asked, who does a Libra connect best with for love?
Oh, okay. Hi, welcome, Aries. Because it's the opposite in the zodiac. Libra and Aries are opposites, and that like you bring out the best in each other. Air signs and fire signs typically go so well together, and earth and water signs go super well together. So even if it's not an Aries, look for Leos or Sagittariuses if you're an air sign.
Okay.
Yeah, that is, you know, my little tidbit. But like I'm an Aquarius. Aquarius's opposite is Leo. And like a majority of the guys that I've like been interested in or dated have been Leos. And it's because like they bring out the, like, I don't know, they're just like my perfect opposite. Mm-hmm. But I've only dated fire signs. So like, even if I wasn't dating a Leo, I've only ever dated Aries, Leos, or Sagittariuses, which is so weird.
Yeah.
But it's because we have amazing chemistry. Like the fire and the air together, like chef's kiss. Oh my gosh, so good.
All right. The Beard Gamer Laku. Yeah, so we have D&D on Wednesdays, but Gianna's character for D&D is a tarot reader, and so we got really interested in tarot and decided to do a spin-off where we learned tarot on Saturdays. So thanks for coming and joining us. If you want your tarot read, you can join the queue It's a little panel down below the video, and you just hit join, and you'll be on the list.
Yeah.
And thank you for the follow, Queen of the Floof? Queen of the Floof.
Hi, Queen of the Floof.
That's a great name.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna read up these comments and then we can like, go and do. I love this. I'm like, it's suddenly astrology corner. Hi. What element is Scorpio, and are they theoretically good with Taurus? Scorpio is water, and Taurus is earth. So yes, they go well together. That is a good little thing.
So water signs are good with earth signs. And Pisces are water signs, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, because Devin's a Pisces.
Yeah. So. And Scorpio and Taurus, I believe, they're opposites. So they're like the opposite part of the zodiac, and so they're like the chef's kiss, like perfect pairing. And then let's see, who's good with Pisces? Oh yeah, Pisces good with Earth, so Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, or with their fellow water signs, so Cancer, or I forgot to say that if you're an air sign, you go well with air, the same sign as yourself. And
so the same or opposite, just never one step to the right or the left, huh?
Correct. Yeah. So yeah, and I think that's about it.
Yeah.
My dog's a Capricorn and it's too accurate. Incredible.
Wait. Oh, okay.
What would December 16th be? I can't remember. That's my wife. December 16th is Sagittarius.
The fact that you just know that off the top of your head, holy crap.
I know. It's so funny.
I'm very impressed. Very impressed.
Thanks so much. I do a lot of research on it, so super lame. But what is Libra's element, and is water or another Libra good together? Libra's air. Water is typically not good with air. The emotional and the water signs are too emotional sometimes, and they bring down the air sign. Air signs are very independent, very free, and water signs tend to be a little bit more dependent and emotionally attached. So it's kind of like if they're smothering you, not a good match. But another Libra and Libra always get together. So that air and the fire, that's what you're gonna look for, TK.
Good to know.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So I have Sir Banana. Your reading is here. This is a general reading, and I am definitely getting some interesting, strong cards here, because in your past you have the Lovers, which it's really easy to interpret that one. There's usually not too much interpretation there. Romantic, or you had like a very strong relationship of some kind. Perhaps you still are in that relationship, but being like part of a couple is something that has greatly influenced you, or defined huge chunks of your life. In the present, you have the Tower, which we just talked about in like a reading or two ago, but basically it just means that something that you've built your foundation upon wasn't stable. So when that slips away, a big chunk of your life can come crumbling down. So since we were just talking about the Lovers in the past, it's possible like perhaps a relationship that you had for a very long time that just was not meant to be because you guys weren't compatible has finally come to an end. Or perhaps it doesn't even have to be about a relationship that did happen. It could even be about your perceptions of a relationship. It can talk about like perhaps you've built a lot of your life or a lot of your like identity upon being in love, or like the kind of person that you want to have a relationship with, and perhaps that isn't the most healthy or like the most mentally stable mindset to have. This could also just mean that like you're changing your perspective on what you think you like or who you think you are in a relationship, but it's always for the best, because when you kind of break away from these untrue perceptions of the way things are, it only helps you to grow and become more stable in the future, because you're not building your like perceptions on something that's not true. So this could either mean like a relationship that you have had you've broken up and that's kind of changed a lot of your life, or it can just mean that you're kind of rethinking about what you like and who you want to be with, and kind of changing your perceptions that way. And then in the future we have the Three of Swords, which is kind of just talking about like relationship struggles, like small disappointments or hurdles, but it is a very light disappointment. It's only a Three of Swords. It's not like an 8 or a 9 of Swords. So what it's just kind of saying is like, it's warning in the future, perhaps if you don't have this paradigm shift now, perhaps if you don't kind of like look back and reevaluate what you want or what you need, the future is going to continue to be filled with kind of like relationship disappointment or, you know, hurt. So it seems like what this is saying is like, make sure that you are really thinking clearly in the present about what you've put your foundations upon. Make sure if you're in a relationship now that it is truly stable and that, you know, you are really compatible, so that you don't have to suffer further disappointments in the future, you know. And if it's not, it's better to break that off and like find something healthier now rather than continue down the path of an unhealthy relationship. So exactly. Yeah, doesn't have to be something that's going to happen. It could just be a warning that's purely avoidable. Just keep those things in mind. And take what resonates and leave what doesn't.
Period. Also, did you make the new logo?
I did, yeah.
Wait, I'm literally obsessed with it.
Thank you.
It's so good. Also, Ciara, the animatic that you made, what the heck?
Thank you.
What the heck?
It's
so good.
It was stuck in my head for days and days, and I just couldn't let it go until I got it out. So
I was like, wait, is this what it's like to be a member of Critical Role, where they have like a billion animatics about their characters? Come on,
it wasn't that good. It was just me.
I'm
doodling.
serious. Yes, it was. Oh my God, Ciara, I will literally come to Canada and I will personally punch you in the face, in the boob. No, it was so good. I was like, wait, what the fuck? Like, literally, that was insane.
So for anyone that
is
not
bullshitting you.
So anyone that is not aware what we're talking about, we have a D&D campaign on Wednesdays, and Gianna's one of the players. You know, she's one of the characters, Nova, and I had this idea in my head, like if you've ever seen like a Critical Role animatic where someone kind of like takes a clip from the show and then like draws it out, but it's not like pure animation, it's almost more like storyboarding where it's kind of like stop motion-y. I had an idea in my head for like a very popular song and how the lyrics like kind of fit perfectly with the 5 characters from the show. And I don't really draw all that much, and if I do draw, I trace because I cheat. And so, but I just couldn't get this like idea of this song out of my head. So I just finally for like 3 days straight kind of sat down and drew out and put it in Premiere and put it to the music, and it's on our YouTube if you want to watch it. It's the one that says Trouble.
Yeah.
And now that I got better as I went along. Like the first like few drawings that I did were definitely like me not knowing what the hell I was doing and like trying to make it sketchy in like a stylized way to cover up the fact that it was just sketchy and bad. Like maybe if I stylize this enough, they won't notice that it's terrible. And then as I went along, I started getting better and better and like really finding what worked. And so near the end, I was actually really happy with how it looked. But when I watched like some of the beginning parts again, I was like, ooh, I could have drawn that better. So
honestly, I like, even if you traced it, okay, like even if you traced it, you took the time out of your day to do it, and like period, that's enough. Like that's enough. Second, the editing, chef's kiss, so funny, so good. That's like the little like shaking of the camera or like all that, like I don't know how to do that, and so that's so impressive to me that you could do that. Like I don't even know where to begin on how to make an animatic, you know?
That's the one thing I do have going for me is like I can't make the raw dough. I'm really bad at like making photos or images, but like if you give me photos and images, I can edit it to be cool. Like I'm good at that, and that's what I get really excited about too. I find I really enjoy the editing part of it. But what I did find, and this is like I mean, I'm sure that like artists out there already have their like references. If you are trying to figure out like how to pose a character, or if you're like trying to get like, I had a couple of drawings that were like from a foreshortened perspective, you know? I found that if you go on Hero Forge and you make your character like a mini of your character and then pose them how you want to draw them and then, you know, move the camera angle to be at the angle that you want. That's how I did a lot of it. Is I didn't, when I said I traced, I mean, I didn't quite trace, but like I made the characters in Hero Forge, and then I used that so that I could get the like perspective of the limbs and the angles of the elbows and everything like just right. Because I'm an observational drawer. I can't do it from my head. I have to like see something. And that's how I got a lot of like the angles that I really, really enjoyed were because I was able to be like, oh, how does it look if you lay down? Okay, so I put the mini so that it was laying down, and then I was able to draw it from there. So that was actually really fun. And Lemon, I trace all the time. I photo bash you 3D models, Pinterest pics, exactly. Yeah, so that's like during the second half of what I was doing, I was like, oh, I can trace the like pose, and then I can just put the character over it. And it was so much easier, and it ended up looking so much better because I could get like way more dynamic poses. And that was really cool. Yeah. So
That's very innovative.
yeah, so if you ever need like a D&D character reference model and you're not quite sure where the horns go, because a lot of other art posing programs don't have like horns and wings and things, Hero Forge or any other miniature site is really useful for that.
I freaking love Hero Forge. I love Hero Forge. I like go on there and I just make like stupid characters, and I'm like, ooh, honestly, could be my next character. Like, love that.
It's like the
honestly
D&D,
might do that after this stream.
It's like the D&D version of like those like Facebook like me programs where you like put the eyes and the hair and everything on. It's like, you know what it is?
Yes.
It's the modern D&D version of like dress up Barbie.
Yes. And it's the best. I love it. Like, I'll
Barbie
literally,
websites.
even if it's not Hero Forge, I'll look up like fantasy like dress up game or like fantasy character creator or whatever.
Yeah.
And it'll be like, oh, you want to dress up a tiefling? Like, here, dress up a tiefling, and you can like change their skin color, their hair color, their eye color. And I just do that for like days on end because it's so interesting. Like, I went on a few weeks ago and I was like fairy character dress up or something, and I like made like 5 fairy characters.
It's
I fucking love fairies.
super helpful for anything like creative, like if you're writing a book or if you're, you know, drawing or making a D&D campaign, like just being able to visualize characters if you can't draw is so helpful. Ever made a Loxodon on Hero Forge? I have not, but it would be really cool to. There's so many, like, they keep adding new races and like hairstyles and all that stuff every day too, so like Hero Forge just becomes more and more powerful. Also, May Jester.
And they added color too.
Yeah, you can add color as well. May Jester, you were next. If you are still in the chat, please sound off what kind of reading you would like. Shotgun Peanut, if you were to DM a one-shot or longer campaign, what would your concept or idea would you want to run? That's a good question.
Oh, I wanted to actually. I have 2 one-shot ideas.
Okay.
One,
hit me with them.
Like the you know, in Onward, like it's like modern day, but like it's
magical.
It's
like,
yeah, it's magical modern day. I would do that. Either that, or I would do. Have you ever seen like the Tinkerbell movies?
I have. I've seen a couple of them.
They came out with like. Okay, so like, you know, Pixie Hollow.
Yeah.
I wanted to make a one-shot of like homebrewed like pixie characters. Because there's like, you know, like there's some online where it's like playable pixie character, even though it's like not technically like officially D&D approved or whatever.
Oh yeah, the new like fairy.
I was gonna do
that.
Yeah, I wanted to make like a fairy, like everyone has their own talents that go along with like their class. So like if you wanted to be like a tinker talent fairy, you'd be an artificer. So like I had this whole idea and I was like, wait, this is the cutest thing ever, you know?
Would there be a lot of like,
it, and
how would you do like the water fairies or like the spring fairies? Would that be like water genasi kind of thing, but in fairy?
Well, I was thinking like druid, like Circle of the Coast, where it's like a lot of water abilities.
Oh, okay.
Or like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or if it was like light talent, they would be like, I don't know, like a cleric or a paladin or something, where it's like their I don't know, person is like a god of the sun or something, like Apollo or something.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Something like that, like, yeah, that was kind of my general idea. And my cousins were like super obsessed with it. They were like, this is my like other D&D stream. Like we do one shots sometimes, and not stream, my other D&D campaign with my
Thank
family.
you for the follow, Slot Addict. Continue.
Hi, thank you. But yeah, so I was like gonna do it, and then they all wanted to do like different, like very obscure talents. So like punching holes in Swiss cheese talent fairies, or like, you know, wiping the poop out of cat buttholes talent fairy. And I was like, that is not a talent. Like that's not a talent. And then they were taking it too far, so I was like, I'm not gonna do this anymore.
Slot Addict,
so yeah, I didn't want to do that.
you have to grant permission to the extension. So Q plus, if it doesn't let you join, there should be like a little like 3 dots where you have to like click that and then grant permission, and then it should let you click join. Thank you. Okay, that seemed to work. Thanks for joining. Well, we're working our way down the list.
Oh, Ciara, what's your Myers-Briggs?
Okay, so I know that it's not supposed to change, but I think the way that I answered the questions changed, because it was ENTJ for a while, but I felt like that never quite like worked. I never quite related to that one. And then the most recent time I took it, I got a different one. I can't remember. It was like just 1 letter off, but it was the like main character basically. Like, cause you know, they have the little slogans.
The protagonist?
For, like, yeah. And I got the protagonist, and maybe this is just me because I have like main character syndrome, but that's what I got. And I actually read through the description. I think it's like ENTP or like SJ. So it was only 1 letter off from ENTJ, but then I read through that one and I'm like, oh, that one fits me so much better, and like I definitely relate to that one more.
That's mine. I'm ENFJ. Yeah.
ENFJ. Okay, yeah. So that's what I am. ENFJ.
That's funny. Oh my god. I love that. Wait,
Makes
let me
sense.
see if that's right. The protagonist.
Yeah.
ENFJ. And I think the protagonist. Extroverted, intuitive, feeling, and judging personality traits.
Yes, yeah. Because I used to think of myself as much more thinking over feeling. And I was joking myself. I am an emotional bitch. So, like, I'm glad that it's changed to feeling instead of thinking, because I think that's much more accurate to me as a human being.
Yeah.
So, yeah, ENFJ.
Yeah, like a lot of them are like natural leader, optimistic, honest and observant, creative leadership, firm believer in doing good for others, dislikes naivete, naivete and inner conflict, all that stuff. But I was like, oh, I can't believe we're the same personality type. Incredible.
And it's really interesting because I think like it just because we have the same personality type, it comes out in very different ways, but I think like at our core we probably are very similar. It's just you know, different ways of showing it.
Yeah, this is true. This is why we get along.
It makes sense. It makes so much sense. Phoenix Ravens
I'm gonna grab more water. I'll be right back.
That's totally cool. Phoenix Ravens changed from entertainer to campaigner. Magikarp has always been INFP. Sir Bananas, I've taken the test like 5 times, all in different emotional places, and you always get INFP. And that's what I've heard as well. Like, it shouldn't matter where you are in life, you should always get the same result. And that's why I think I got ENTJ like a bunch of times in a certain part of my life, and then like I think I just became more self-actualized, and then it changed because I think, you know, the test is totally based on how you answer the questions. And I started realizing that like the way that I was answering the questions wasn't actually accurate, or like it was the perception of how I thought I was. But like me being thinking over feeling, no, absolutely not. I don't know how I kid myself into thinking that I was more logical than emotional, but yeah, I definitely am ENFJ. But we can move on to May Jester's reading, and this is a general reading. In the past, we have the Four of Pentacles, in the present is the Page of Pentacles, and then in the future is the Nine of Wands. The Beard Gamer sees Rosie. Wait, is that...
I was gonna say...
Is that why you named your alias Rose for Nova?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's kind of cute. Yeah, I love the name Rosie, or like Rose. I love it. But I love that Rosie was like the main star while I was away for a minute. She's front and center. Okay, cool.
She is. She's the main attraction of this whole
I mean,
stream.
you're the star, but like she was.
No, she was
my placeholder.
She's the star of this stream. We all know it. Okay, so the Four of Pentacles in your past is talking about, this is for May Jester, is talking about being afraid of losing things, so you hold on too tightly. It's kind of considered like the miser card, because it's like, oh, you know, once, you know, maybe you were like, you didn't have enough money for a large part of your life, so then when you finally did gain money, you didn't want to spend it on anything, you didn't want to let it go, you didn't want to be generous because of that fear of losing it. But this doesn't have to be even just money, it can be like emotionally, like you're so afraid of losing someone in a relationship that you hold on too tight, or you're like not willing to bend on certain things because of fear of losing them. And this is like, this card kind of talks about a warning. Is like, you know, sometimes when you hang on too tight, you're gonna lose that thing all that much faster because you're holding on too tight. Like, so it's just kind of a reminder, like, you know, generosity breeds more like coming back to you. Like karma is, you know, what goes around comes around. So like, don't be afraid to help those in need. Don't be afraid, like, don't go obviously like spending money unwisely, but like, just know that like if you're kind and you breed kindness, that kindness will come back to you in all different kinds of ways. So don't be afraid to like loosen your grip a little bit. The Page of Pentacles can either refer to a young child, someone who's super studious, super hardworking, like very reliable, very kind of Hufflepuff energy, or it can mean good news. It can mean like good news from a financial standpoint, like maybe you're getting a call about a promotion, or maybe you're getting a call about a new job, or this could mean like unexpected inheritance. It can mean like, you know, maybe someone's about to send you money that you weren't expecting. It just generally is like about like news coming your way about something from a financial or from like a document standpoint. It can also refer to like education, degrees, diplomas, houses, like property kind of documents. Seems like something like that might be like on the edge of happening, or maybe that just happened or is on your mind. And then in the future is the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is talking about like when you've been working really, really, really hard at something, and you've been just going at it and like single-minded focus for so long, and you kind of feel like giving up, because you can see like, you know, this man is like down on one knee, he's just barely holding on and like using the wand for support. And this card is just a warning, like a lot of the times, like right before you break through to something amazing, like everything seems like it's at its darkest, or like, you know, when you've been working at something so long and you just feel like, oh, I just have no more energy, I just have to give up. And this card's just saying like, don't give up. This is basically like the you're gonna feel tired, you're gonna feel exhausted, but you've put in the work and you're like, it's the 9 of Wands, meaning you're like, 9 out of 10 ways down the path. Don't give up now, right when you're about to like reach that final goal. So for this general reading, the general, sense of it is like, perhaps in the past you've been afraid to let go, you've been afraid of losing things, but in your present you're gonna get some good news of like a monetary or like a document kind of sense. And in the future, wherever that leads you, you're gonna get this feeling of like, no matter what I do, maybe it's kind of mixed with that miserly feeling of like, no matter how hard I try, I just can't quite get enough or hold on tight enough. But it's just saying like, don't give up when all feels lost. And, the path will open itself up to you sooner than you think. There you go. Hope that helps. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't.
Yay. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, the next one on the list is Lally, Shannon. If you are still in the chat, let us know. Let us know what kind of reading you would like. I guess I never answered the question if I had to do a one shot, what kind of one shot would I do? I would probably I would probably do like a murder mystery, because I freaking love puzzles and like murder mysteries and like all of those like kind of intellectual like themed kind of games. But I don't think like a murder mystery could be super sustainable for like a long campaign. So it would either have to be like a one shot or maybe like a 2 or a 3 part game. But I would probably set up some kind of like either like, film noir style like 1920s murder mystery, or maybe even like a fantasy murder mystery. And I would like make clues, I would make it like an escape room. I would have like a whole bunch of paper props with like puzzles and like codes and shit, and I would hand those out to the players, and I would make them try to solve it. Because that's the kind of shit I really like.
I love that idea.
And everyone would probably hate me because I would probably like make it too hard, or the clues would be too vague or something. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, when you get back, we should totally do that as a one shot. That'd be so fun.
I would do it. I mean, I think I've heard like Call of Cthulhu is a really good roleplay system for like murder mysteries, because it is more about like investigating and like clues and kind of like horrifying things. So I bought the Call of Cthulhu starter set like box, and I like read through it, and I just haven't ever like DM'd a campaign for it. But that was kind of like one of my first ideas. Like if I was going to be a DM, I would probably start with something like Call of Cthulhu and then move to D&D like later. Magikarp has a 80s themed murder mystery dinner party module that we should play. Yeah, I've done a lot of those like boxed murder mystery dinner party ones. And they can be fun, but I like really don't like the boxed ones, because you kind of just read through the booklet and no one knows who the like, you could be the like murderer, and I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the boxed ones. So I wrote my own for like for a friend for her bachelorette party. I like wrote my own giant murder mystery thing, and then I had all of the bridesmaids or the brides people be the suspects, and she had to try to solve it, and that was really, really fun for me.
I love that.
and
it was lit as hell.
Yeah, I had hey Alex, I had to test it before the actual wedding to make sure it made sense. So I got a whole bunch of Ren Fair people together in a restaurant, and I like gave them all the paperwork, and I was like, okay, play through this murder mystery to make sure that it like makes sense and could be solved. And it's funny because the Ren Fair people solved it, like they won, but the actual bride failed miserably. Like she just did not pick up on some of the clues.
No way!
And then like just completely lost. But at least I knew it was winnable because my Ren Fair peeps totally like crushed it. One of my character aspects was wine. Yeah, I had one character that was written to be like alcoholic. I mean, yeah.
Lovely.
That was so long ago too. I don't even remember all the details, but it was very fun. Did
my
we
gosh,
hear
that
back
sounds so
from
great.
Lolly, Shannon about what kind of reading? Are they still
I don't
here?
think so.
Okay. One more
Let me
sound
look
off. Lolly, Shannon, if you're here, let us know. Oh, Lolly does not appear to be here. Okay, I will leave them in for just a little bit longer, but I'm gonna skip
On the
forward to the
side.
next person, who is Canned Boots. Canned Boots, if you're in the chat, let me know what kind of reading you would like, and then you're up next.
What was the name?
Canned Boots.
Oh yeah, they're still here.
Okay,
Looks like.
awesome.
In the
Yeah.
chat.
Career reading, gotcha. What's your D&D class in real life? Mine is definitely a wizard. I'm totally like, I would, if magic was real, I would be hitting them books. Call me Hermione fucking Granger, because I would be learning every spell possible. I'm also like not super strong, so I would have to use magic to be able to get my way. What about
Yeah.
you? What would you be?
Yeah, that's so funny. That's a hard one. I would probably say, maybe bard. I don't know.
You like performing?
I do acting and singing, yeah. But I also feel like that's so basic.
I don't think
bard.
that's. I think it feels basic because we are friends with a lot of. Oh wow. Okay, I just spilled my tarot deck everywhere. We're friends with a lot of people that are performers, so it seems basic because we just like work in those circles. But you know, there's tons of people that have never
Yeah.
performed a day in their life, and that's not them at all. You know.
Yeah, I definitely think my two highest traits would be, or stats would be charisma and wisdom.
Yeah.
Like I'm very intuitive,
There you go.
but I'm also like pretty charismatic, so
Yeah, that's definitely
I
bard.
don't know.
And I would definitely say that my
Yeah.
highest is probably intellect. So wizard all the way for me, baby.
That's so true. Wizard all the way. Yeah.
If
Fighter,
like if
necromancer for beer record.
necromancer, ooh, wait, in real life?
Whoa. TK, I try to play anything religious or celestial. What about in real life? Like, what do you relate to more in real life?
Yeah, I
Fighter,
used
'cause
to
I'm basic.
I used to think I was a paladin. I used to be very much like I will, you know, be strong and smite the wicked and blah blah blah. And I've kind of chilled out a lot. I don't base so much of my personality on that anymore. So if I could just straighten these out. Okay.
You're not cutting off hands from dead people.
You are not an NPC, cowboy. Shut the fuck up. I will come
no,
over
you're
there.
not.
I will
You're
come over there
not.
and smack you myself.
Not
Okay.
sure, maybe just human. Oh, okay.
Anybody who thinks they're a paladin accidentally became a warlock. I'm not quite there yet. I kind of went from paladin to wizard because I've chilled out a little bit more about God giving me power, and now it's more about just like learning and being smart.
Sir Bananas says that they think they're a monk because they do a lot of boxing.
Hey, that's
That's
true.
sick as hell.
That's actually
super
really sick
true.
as hell. Yeah. I know a couple of
Yeah.
people that do like martial arts, and I could totally see like monk or fighter being their like main real class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
This is really
cannot.
cool.
I'm
I
very
love
much a spellcaster.
Yeah, I love thinking about stuff like that. Like, what class would I be?
Yeah.
All right, so this is a reading for Canned Boots. It's a career reading. So in your past, you have Judgment. In your present, you have the Knight of Swords. And in your future, you have Death. So let me just start off right off the bat. If anybody's new, death does not mean death. You're not going to die everyone's going to die in the future, but we're not talking about that right now. We'll get to that meaning in a second, but don't be afraid. So in your past, Judgment, This card really talks about karma. It's very much like reaping what you sow, what goes around comes around. So in like a career sense, this could be positive or negative. Hopefully it's positive. Hopefully like you've really put in the good work and like you've really tried hard and you've been nice. And that is going to, you know, you're going to be rewarded for that like later in your career path. It could also mean like if you slacked off, if you didn't come into work, or you know really didn't put your best foot forward, your managers take notice of that and you're going to be passed up for a promotion. So it could be either or. I'm gonna, you know, err on the side of the positive and think like, you know, you've really put in your hard work, you've been someone that can be relied upon, and that's gonna, you know, sow good karma for you later down the line when you're looking to like increase your career prospects. In your present, you have the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords is an event, and this talks about like something that's happening really, really quickly. So like you've been waiting and waiting and waiting for something, like in a career sense, maybe it's like you're looking for a new job or you're like looking for a promotion, and it's like it felt like everything was kind of at a standstill, and then things are going to start happening very quickly. This is talking about events that like kind of take you off guard because it moves like in and like everything starts happening all at once. So maybe, you know, you've been like looking for a job and you've been applying to all these jobs. The Knight of Swords would mean like 2 or 3 of them all get back to you all saying they want you, and now it's like almost overwhelming how many choices you have. You know, it's like everything happens all at once and it sweeps you off your feet. And then in the future is death, and the death card in tarot refers to just change. It doesn't talk about literal death. It's like the ending of one era and the beginning of another. So in a career sense, this probably means like a career change. This could be like quitting one job and starting a new one that's better or more exciting, or, you know, better prospects. Or it could be even like changing career fields. Maybe, you know, you're gonna go back to school and get another degree in something different, and you're gonna like start a wholly different career path. And especially because, you know, like the Knight of Swords, like things are going to start happening really fast. This is leading like these, this news or these events that are happening are most likely going to lead to like a good change in your life, to a transformation of your career path into something like really cool, like it's new opportunities, and it's like letting go of old things so that you can do something new and exciting. So it seems like, you know, things you've put in the hard work, you know, you've really reaped what you sow, and maybe things have been at a standstill for a while, but an event is going to come by that's really going to like sweep you off your feet, and you're going to be like, the things are going to start coming into motion. And then in the future, you're going to have the choice of either like staying where you are now and like staying with the status quo, or letting those things go to start something new and a big change that's really exciting for your career. So that's really nice. That's really good. I hope that all works out for you. And, you know, hopefully that's something that you're excited to hear about.
Yeah, death isn't like, everyone thinks that death is like a bad card. And it's like, it's not. Like, sometimes you need death in order, like sometimes you just need that change in order, like something for you sometimes need for something to die off in order to get like a new opportunity. Yeah. That is even better for you. Mm-hmm. So
I am very I get bored really easily. So the death card is great for me because it's like I need a lot of change in my life all the time. Like, or else I just get bored. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and then TK, the worst is probably the tower, the lightning struck tower. In so much as any card is like negative, because I think there's a positive and a negative to every single card. I think the tower can be the most negative just because it means like something that you've really built a lot upon, it comes crumbling down. But again, there's still the positive, like if you've built your house upon shifting sands, it was always meant to fall. You shouldn't be building like huge chunks of your life on things that are untrue or unstable. So yeah, if you had to choose a negative card, the tower is probably the most negative, but even that has a healthy positive connotation that comes out of it.
Yeah.
And then Magikarp, you're up next if you want to let us know what kind of reading you would like. Ooh. My best friend Paul got the tower every single tarot reading ever. That's just some like The universe is really trying to tell you to, like, take a good look at what you're doing, fam.
Yeah, literally. Whoa, that's crazy.
That's pretty intense.
See.
And yeah, I mean, literally nothing is permanent. So the Beard Gamer Laku, like, everything changes. Nothing is ever gonna stay the same. So everything, like, in a way, dies at some point or another. Everything is constantly changing and in motion. So if things didn't end, everything would be stagnant and boring, and there would be nothing exciting. So death is not a bad card at all. It just is. It's just different. It just means something different and something new.
Mm-hmm.
Your friend Paul needs to examine his shit. Yep, Magikarp. Your friend Paul is clearly, like, building some foundations upon unstable ground. He needs to take a good look at his life. It doesn't matter who's reading for him. It's still
wow, there's quite a few people on the list.
Yeah, we have a couple of repeats, so we do encourage, like, if the list isn't too long, people are welcome to put their name down again, but we are gonna do everybody's first reading before we go around and doing, like, a second round of readings. So just know that if you put your name on the list a second time, and if there's someone new that jumps in, we are gonna prioritize them having their first reading first before we do a second round. But yeah, Magikarp, general reading. We'll see what the universe thinks. We've got a lot of general readings today, and, like, oh boy, they're, vastly different energies for every single one.
Yeah.
Question, if
you
met
grab a blanket, I'm a little cold.
Yeah. If you met an actual immortal, what do you say to that person? I'd probably just ask them a lot of questions. I would just be like, how old are you? What cool historical events did you live through? How does being immortal change the way that you look at life? Does it change your, like, behavior? I would probably just ask them a lot of questions more than tell them anything. Hi, Simba's Bloody Mojo. Hi, welcome. We're doing tarot readings. This is Twitch Slays D&D, if you haven't been in here before. We do D&D on Wednesdays, and one of our characters in D&D was a tarot reader, and we thought, hey, that's pretty cool. I want to learn more about that. And so now we've been teaching ourselves how to tarot, and we're practicing on all of you guys. If you would love to get on the list, there's a Q+ like extension that you can just grant permission and then hit join, and then we're just going down the list one at a time.
Yeah.
I feel like general readings tend to decide they're going to be other readings. Yeah, so the thing about general readings is that you're just, like, you're asking the universe, what do I need to know? And then the universe usually says, like, okay, here's the direction of, like, information that you should know about. So it's just more like of a general, it's just, you're not directing the universe what you want it to tell you. You're just saying, okay, like, generally, what should I know about? And then usually it's like, oh, big life things, or big love things, or big career things, like, it decides for you. Do love readings, cowards. Alright, so we are doing Magikarp.
Bye, my Jester.
Have a good night. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for joining. Alright.
So
do I have a question? Oh, I was gonna ask, do you sleep with a top sheet on your bed?
No, I do not.
You don't?
No. It just ends up getting all tangled and kicked up and stuff, so I usually just take it off and I'll just sleep with the comforter.
No way, that's
clearly
crazy.
you must, because you sounded very surprised.
Yeah, I do. I do sleep with the top sheet. A lot of people don't, though, because they're like, oh, it's just like a thin layer of something I don't need.
Yeah. Well,
but I need to be extra warm during the night. I get really cold.
That's fair. I mean, if it's like winter, it's nice to have an extra layer, but then I'll usually just pile like more blankets on top.
True. Who sleeps with the top sheet?
Yeah, who the fuck sleeps with a top sheet, Gianna? What the hell's wrong with you?
It's just how I grew up. I'm sorry.
I grew up with it too, but I just quickly, like, I hated making my bed, and that was just one more, like, layer of things I had to do, you know? So, just got rid of it. Okay, so this is for Magikarp. This is your general reading. Definitely getting career vibes here. So, Page of Swords in your past, Seven of Swords in your present, and then Seven of Wands in your future. So this is talking about in your past, the Page of Swords is news that was kind of disappointing. So something in your life that you really waited with bated breath on, and then you received disappointing news. And this has really kind of like impacted your life in the present, whatever this news was. In the present, you have the Seven of Swords, and this is basically warning against like thievery in the night. It's kind of like a general warning of like people around you might be up to no good. There might be deception afoot. You have to be careful of people trying to steal from you or trying to like get information about you in a negative way to be used like for bad things. So it's like kind of a general warning of, like keep what is most valuable to you close to the chest for a little while, because you're kind of at like a tipping point where someone might try to take advantage of that and take something away from you. But then in the future is going to be the Seven of Wands, which talks about like defending what you really care for and what you value most. So you see like this man is standing at the door, guarding this door against these other wands, and it's talking about like thinking about when you're, there's a phrase and I can't think of what the idiom is, but like basically like when things get tough and when people really like force you to like take a look at your opinions and like your thoughts and feelings about things, like you have to decide whether you need to like change your opinions or whether it's like you're going to defend them with your last breath. And so this is saying like there's going to come a time in the future, perhaps referring to that thievery or that like person close to you that might be underhanded, where you're gonna have to like stand your ground and really defend what you truly believe in, even when all the odds seem against you. And so there's definitely like some trials ahead, but because the Seven of Wands, which is that like fire sign, that's that like that passion and that like really good energy, that like strong energy. I think what it's saying is like, whatever in the present is kind of being underhanded and like deceitful to you, like in the future you're strong enough and you are going to stand up against it and you're going to hold your ground, and things are going to turn out in your favor because you are strong and you're going to hold on to that integrity, and you're not going to back away from that, and it's going to end up like helping you in the long run. Yeah, I'm getting called the fuck out. Not my abusive parents getting into my bank account and demanding access to my finances, student loans, and trying to keep you from moving. Yeah, so, I mean, I didn't want to say it because I didn't know how much you were comfortable sharing, but yeah, it seems like in your present right now, that Seven of Swords is talking about those people trying to, take something that is not theirs. And what this is really saying is Seven of Wands, like you really just have to hold your ground. You just have to stay strong and really like tell them no and really like stand up for what you believe in. And that's going to be what helps you at the end of the day. It's just staying strong. But I know you can do it. You got this. I believe in you. It's going to be great.
Magikarp.
Everything's it's going to work out well in the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, after the next reading, can we take a break?
Yeah, of course. So we're gonna do if MS fan, if Miles, if you're in the chat right now, let us know what kind of reading you would like, and then after that one, we're gonna take like a 20-minute break. We're gonna leave the queue where it is. We're still gonna just work down in order, and we'll be right back after that to keep doing more readings. So, Miles, what kind of reading would you like? Nice to see you here. I'll go general. And there go all of my cards. So the one nice thing about them being sleeved is they shuffle easier. The bad thing is it's much harder to hold them. It's like they're slippery.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of generals tonight.
Sometimes you just need the universe to tell you what
you need to know. Yeah.
You need to know. Yeah. Let's see here.
Did anybody else ask a question in the chat for us? I've been here before. Last time I was here for a bit of
activity instantly calms you? Is there something that instantly calms you that you do?
There's like a few shows, like comfort shows on like YouTube that I'll watch that I usually use to wind down. I mean, I like podcasts. I've been rewatching a lot of stuff lately. Like, there's this really, really funny quiz show from Britain called QI. It stands for Quite Interesting. And it's really funny because all the contestants are comedians and they talk about, it's like a weirdly like comedic but intellectual show because they talk about like common knowledge things and why those things have been wrong. And so they'll ask a question that's like this really obvious common knowledge thing, and then the comedians will say, well, it's this, and like, nope, you're wrong, here's the actual answer. School's been teaching you incorrectly this whole time. But because all the contestants are comedians, they just have like really, really good like bits and jokes in between all of the like really interesting knowledge. And I've been kind of re-binging that recently. Yeah. For comfort. What about you? Is there something that you do to calm down?
I think watching like Critical Role, I think calms me. Reading a book calms me. And then the other thing, there's this new TikTok account, and it's this girl who lives in England, and she like goes around and she's like, oh my god, I can't even describe how beautiful it is. But she'll like go in her backyard and like, or like around the green area, and she's like, oh, like over here I found like a little shoe hanging from a tree, and it's like she basically like makes these little like fairy looking like trinkets, and then we'll leave them out and come up with like a whole story of like, look at this little towel I found by the stream, must be a little like pixie going out for a little swim in the river. And I will post a video in the Discord.
That's very
because
cute.
I'm literally obsessed with it, and it calms me so quick. So quick.
Yeah, that's really nice.
I had so many people send me it. They're like, oh my god, this is so you. And I'm like, yeah, because I fucking love fairies and they're freaking real. But yeah, I was like, oh my god. Oh, Hidden Fairy Homes is what it's called.
That's a great name.
It's so cute. I will be putting this in the chat right now.
That is definitely your vibe, 100%.
It's so me. It's so me. Okay, copy link.
Are you caught up with Critical Role, Gianna? Because I am not. Shotgun. I am like 120 episodes behind. Are you caught up?
So no, but okay. So I am, but I'm not. So like, campaign one,
spoiled,
I'm like
for sure.
Yeah, campaign one, I'm halfway through, but I already know what kind of happens, but like not really, but kind of. Campaign two, I know what happens because like I've spoiled myself. I'll watch like highlights and clips of like each episode, so I like don't have to like watch the entire thing, which is kind of cheating, which is kind of annoying, but I just like love their characters so much. I don't want to have to like wait. And then I watched this last stream on Thursday, and it was good.
I follow them on like Twitter and Instagram and like a bunch of other D&D things on Twitter and Instagram, and so I've seen the mini, like, you know, the mini, the maxi. It's huge. And because like everyone was like sharing pictures of it and videos of it and all this stuff, and like I kind of already knew all about that stuff. I'm gonna be vague in case, you know, no one in the chat wants spoilers. I knew that was gonna be like end game for this campaign, but it's still like cool to see.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna catch up eventually, and I'm gonna see how it all plays out. But I'm only on like episode like 60 in campaign 2, so I'm not getting there anytime soon. And I'm currently watching Fantasy High. I'm watching Dimension 20 right now, so I'm not even not even working
That's
on
another
Critical
good
Role.
one.
Yeah, because I just everyone's really really into it, and I wanted to know what was happening, so I started watching Fantasy High, and it's very funny.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, no, we're not gonna spoil anything, but like you'll know what I'm talking about in this last episode when I tell you that things took a turn and then they took a turn again. And it was unwell. Like I watched the last, I think, hour of the stream.
Okay.
Oh my God, so much happened. Oh, it was. I do absolutely recommend watching Critical Role. It is a little bit more serious, like it's because they're all voice actors and they all like take it super seriously. But like there are funny moments, like Scanlan. Are you fucking kidding me? Like one of the best characters ever, because he's so stupid.
Yeah,
it's so hilarious.
I definitely say out of like a bunch of D&D like podcasts or campaigns, Critical Role is definitely the most like story heavy, slow burny one. Like it's very dramatic and cinematic, it's harder to get into because it's a very slow pace for like plot and everything, because it's like very like role play heavy, but again all of the players are voice actors, so it's all like very very good, but then there's some other ones like Dimension 20 or the Adventure Zone, which are like quicker and more comedic, or like Dungeons and Daddies, much more like comedy with like D&D as a skin over the top of it. Also very very entertaining. It just depends on your like style, like how many hours you have to commit to it, because like Critical Role is so long. You really have to
it really is.
Or Dork Tales. I have not watched Dork Tales yet, but it is on my list and on my channels on Twitch, so I will catch up one of these days. There's a bunch of Twitch D&D campaigns that I also want to catch up on. Not enough hours in the day.
I really liked Tiberius in the first campaign. He was there until episode 27, but the actor, like the voice actor, got like very selfish with some of his role playing, and so they like kicked him out.
You're talking about Ryan.
Yeah, but his character was fucking great. Like there's one animatic where it's like Scanlan and Tiberius do like a little deal, and they like make a trade, and it's so freaking funny. And yes, from Draconia. I'm Tiberius Stormwind from Draconia. So great. Like his accent was so awesome. But it just sucks like that he got a little bit too like oh, this is my show. Like this is about me. Like I'm gonna go off and split up from the party and do my own thing.
That's what I've heard, yeah.
Yeah, it was like, that's not really the move, bro. Like everyone's trying to like get through it, He wanted to do like 3 or 4 or 5 things separate from the party, and it was like I'll wait, like, so
don't split the party. That's number 1 rule. Don't split the party.
That's not really like the way to go. Like that's not what D&D is about. It's not about going off on your own and doing 5 different things. It's about trying to do those things while in the group and try to get people to go with you and like have that time with them. So yeah, I do recommend Critical Role though. Like maybe start with campaign 2, because campaign 2 you get it from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
Campaign 1 you only got half of
you jump in the middle. Yeah,
unless you watch the prologue, which is very well done, may I say.
I have not seen any of campaign 1 yet, but that's on, again, my very long list of to watch. So someday I'll get there.
He made a sexist comment the last appearance on the show. What did he say? Because I think I heard about it, but I don't remember. I don't know. It was weird. Like his last episode, he was like, there was something that was during the break that happened that like the tension was very real toward the end. He got a strategy half chub. What? Is that what was the comment?
I don't know. I'm confused.
Weird.
In the meantime though, we're like coming up on 11, so I have Miles's reading, and then we can take a break.
Okay.
So that we're at like a nice round time to take a break and come back. So Miles has a general reading. We have the Seven of Cups, the Hierophant, and the Empress. So Seven of Cups in your past, that's talking about having too many choices. It's kind of like you see before you, there's these 7 different cups and they each have a different thing. And it kind of warns against like being so indecisive that you get stuck in place because you don't know which way to go. So instead of like picking one and moving forward, you kind of like dawdle between all the different choices. And it also warns about like self-discipline, like trying not to have everything, like because you can't have or be everything. You like at some point you have to choose like 1 or 2 things. So there was like a decision in your past where like you weren't quite sure which direction you wanted to go. You kind of were at a standstill of like not knowing what to do, or like you just couldn't limit yourself to just 1 or 2 things, and you tried to stretch yourself too thin, and that may have like affected your decision negatively, or you weren't able to put 100% of yourself into one thing. But in the present, you have the Hierophant, and this talks about, it's kind of like about establishment. Like the Hierophant is kind of like a general idea that could mean like academia, it could mean government, it could mean religion. It just kind of like refers to like a governing body or authority. And this could mean like maybe you're in education, like maybe you're going to school right now, maybe you are thinking about religion, or maybe there's like a religious person that's really affecting your life right now. Maybe something about like a governing body or like government is really affecting your life right now. And it kind of like talks about like being involved in those things, or a person from one of those things having an effect on you. I don't get this one right, like quite that often, so I am going to look it up because I think there's another interpretation as well. Oh yeah, it does say like it could be like a wise, trusted person, like a mentor, a teacher, a religious figure, someone who you respect or is respected in the local community, someone that you hold in high regard that is like influencing you, or as I already said, large institutions, education, organizations, government offices. Okay, this is one I forgot. It can also mean the conventional way of thinking. So like traditional values, or like the way things have always been done, like that as a concept can be the Hierophant. So maybe like you're struggling right now between something traditional, something the way that things have always been, or somebody that thinks in these traditional ways, versus like breaking out of that mindset and trying something new, or trying things like not the way they have been done. Perhaps that's something that you're struggling with right now. But in the future you have the Empress, and you know, regardless of like if you identify as male or female, this is just talking about that yin and yang, like female traits, like stereotypical female energies. So this is like a very like empowered, this is like being very connected with your emotions, this is like kindness and like that kind of maternal instinct. It also talks about like being reliable, or like that person that people can go to, like in a stereotypically motherly way, but it doesn't have to be female. It holds a lot of energy because it also talks about like being like a force for creation, in the traditional sense, like literally giving birth, but in like the philosophical sense, like you being a person that is creative, or like coming up with and creating ideas, or you know, things. It can also talk about growth, it can talk about prosperity, nurturing, and then creative or work endeavors that like you bring about through your hard work. And like, or it could mean like support. So it seems like, you know, in the past you've had like trouble with deciding between things, or like, you know, figuring out maybe yourself or what you want. In the present, you could either be struggling with those like traditional versus non-traditional values, or maybe there's someone like a mentor or somebody that you trust that's helping you to figure yourself out and like figure out which direction you want to go out of all of those choices. And in the future, you're going to manifest in a way where like you are very one with yourself, and you know what you want, and you know, are like, can put those energies towards being like a very empowered, nurturing, creative spirit that like, you know, brings new ideas and all of this like really positive energy out into the world. So it's kind of a journey of like indecision and mentorship becoming like fulfillment and becoming like a oneness with yourself. And that's no easy journey, obviously. Like it takes a lot of self-reflection and a lot of like either having a mentor or having a lot of like meditation and mindfulness to like become and break out of those like traditional values or that like way it's always been done mindset to become what you were always meant to be. But it's definitely a journey that's worth taking, and you know, it's going to transform you into someone amazing and really, really powerful and intuitive. So that's your reading, Miles.
Miles, incredible.
Yeah. I hope that all helps and works out well for you. And obviously no one's journey is easy, but it's worth it in the end. So
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what you become.
You're amazing.
Yeah. All right. So on that note, the next one when we come back from Great is going to be Rook the Bardling. So stay tuned. You're going to be next, the first reading after break. We're going to go take a 20-minute break, or a 20-minute break, you think? Yeah. And we will be back at 11:25.
Hi.
Took me a second. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for hanging out and being patient. We have just a few more people on our list for tonight, and tons of fun questions and people to chat with along the way. Up next is Rook the Bardling with a general reading. I have already pulled your cards, and I'm getting a totally romantic love vibe going, but just making sure you're back from the break. Rook the Bardling, if you could make sure to just sound off in chat, so I know you're still here before we get into the thick of it, because there's some juicy... Is that the Backyardigans?
I don't know. I think it might be, but it's on TikTok.
I'm pretty sure that's the Backyardigans, which I think we have to now start. We have to get our Backyardigans meme game up, because the Bot-Yardigans has been voted on as your official party name.
Wow.
Congratulations.
The Bot-Yardigans.
You're the Bot-Yardigans. That happened last week. Congratulations.
I'm good.
All right, so Rook is here. So for your reading, we have the Page of Cups, the Nine of Cups, and then Strength. So the universe is definitely telling you something in the romance variety. The Page of Cups talks about news of a romantic or personal, like emotional sense. So in the past, you have, received news of, getting into a relationship, getting out of a relationship, someone getting married, maybe you getting married, and that news was like a big turning point, which then led to today, the Nine of Cups, which is called the Wish card, because it's about like your wish being fulfilled. It's 9 emotional cups of being satisfied. This doesn't have to be like in a relationship. It can also mean being content and satisfied outside of a relationship and just being content with yourself. But this card is very much like things are good, and it can even refer to like pleasure in the emotional or the physical sense. So it seems like either like right now or very soon to be, you are like really content with where your things are romantically or relationship wise. And if it's not, it's going to come about really soon. And then in your future is the Strength card, which is all about using those charming, romantic, like emotional wiles to charm people around you. The Strength card shows that the woman kind of has control over the lion, which is symbolic to like more aggressive, violent tendencies, but the woman is like kindness and diplomacy and like love and all of those things overcoming the violent or aggressive tendencies. So it can also mean like using feminine or charming wiles to get your way. So this is definitely giving me a vibe of like you received some romantic like news, emotional news in the past, and you're at a point now where you're really content, or you're about to be very content with things in your life. And in the future, it's like you're going to continue to use that love and kindness and that like charming attitude to keep things happy and continue to like get your way and have that fulfilling relationship. My boyfriend and I just had our 3-year anniversary a few days ago. Oh my gosh, that's congratulations. That's really wonderful. That's a good, long, healthy relationship, it sounds like. So, so this is just painting the picture of like, yeah, continue going along with what you've been doing right so far. Continue to like communicate and compromise and all of those, you know, healthy things, which is kind of represented by the Strength card, and things will continue to keep going your way and going well. So there you go. Seems like things are really good for you.
Congrats, Rose. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really nice. That's really good. Is your Gigi? Is your mic like lower or?
No, I think I had it like.
Oh, there you go.
I think it was stuck. Yeah.
Okay, you were a little muffled for a second. I can hear you really nice now. Thanks.
Got it. Okay, cool. Yeah, no problem.
All right. Next on the list is Miller. Miller, if you're still here, let us know what kind of reading you would like.
Miller.
And then in the meantime, does anyone have any questions for us or for the chat in general?
I have a question.
Yeah.
My question is, what was your all-time favorite Halloween costume?
Ooh, that's a tough one because you know me, I'm kind of a cosplayer. I freaking love costumes.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, my absolutely favorite one was like a homemade Hermione Granger costume that I had. Like we didn't buy one. It was like an old gray sweater that my mom had with like a white shirt underneath and a red tie, and then I had this like this red plaid skirt like the one she wears in the Sorcerer's Stone, that like very first movie.
Yeah.
And then instead of like a cloak, we just used like a black graduation gown because those look so much like the Hogwarts cloaks.
Yeah.
And that was my costume like 2 years in a row because I loved it so much. And I would like put my hair in braids the night before while it was still wet so that I would take it out and it would be like huge and crimped and curly. That was my favorite when I was a kid. But I also had some like, I've had some bangers since then as an adult, but those aren't so much for Halloween anymore.
Yeah.
What about yours?
Mine was, I think, there was one where I think it was in 2017 going into 2018. I had just dyed my hair black and it was really short. And so I decided to dress up as like a Disney bounded Snow White. So I had like, so I had like a little red headband with like a little mini bow. I had like a blue shirt that was like kind of like, I don't know, it was like really like, it was made of like a chiffon, I think.
Okay.
And then like a yellow skirt with like really tall black heels.
Hell yeah. And
I posted it on my Instagram and I was like, I like captioned it like hi ho or something. And I had an apple purse.
I love that. I love the detail.
And it was the most liked photo on my Instagram for like the longest time.
Oh wow.
And I was like, damn, everyone liked it just as much as I did. So that was definitely my favorite for sure. Even it was like very last minute, but I pulled it together and with my hair and everything, it was just perfect. So
yeah, we have a couple of TK. I dressed up as Nightcrawler for a hero theme for Homecoming. That's really cool. Did you do like all of the like body paint, like were you fully blue for Nightcrawler? Because that would be like, it's a lot of commitment for sure. And then Rook asks, what do you think of kobolds? Or even the cute bold interpretation? I like them both. Well, if you ask them at the beginning of our campaign, Gianna, I'm sure, would say that they're totally sword fodder, because you just murdered all of the kobolds. I think they're cute. I like kobolds.
Yeah, they're like kind of cute, but I'm also like not really like the biggest reptile fan, so.
Oh, I love reptiles.
They're like, some of them are kind of cute, but I'm like, I prefer like a cat over a lizard. You know.
You like fuzzy mammals.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think lizards are adorable. I adore lizards. I would have a reptile as a pet before I would have. Well, I don't like bugs, so. That's the one bad thing, is I wouldn't want to feed it bugs. But besides that, I would love to have a reptile as a pet.
Yeah. If you could meet anyone living or dead, who and why? Ooh, I have an answer, but it's basic.
Well, we got asked it, so you gotta answer anyway.
Harry Styles. I would die
yes.
if I met him.
I should have guessed.
I know.
Because that was your answer for like a couple of other questions. Oh, that was for like who you trust celebrity-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like who's the nicest celebrity? Harry Styles, for sure. Oh my god, I would die if I met him.
My answer for this one is always Joan of Arc, because I did a project on her in college, and so like I read all about her life, and she was just like such a fucking badass.
Yeah.
And like all of the things that you think you know about Joan of Arc, like she was even cooler than that. Like,
yeah,
she was just like literally like the French soldiers were like retreating, and she like turned them around single-handedly by just like carrying the banner and rushing forward, and everyone was just like, holy shit, the balls on this girl. And they all like turned back around and like stopped retreating and ended up like winning that battle, because she was just like, we're not fucking running away yet, gents, you know? And
yeah,
oh, she's so cool.
She's super cool.
Miller,
I also really like Joan of Arc.
Yeah, Miller, a few years ago I dressed as the Doctor and carried around my daughter dressed as Merida. That's adorable. I fucking love Merida. Which Doctor? Like which, we're talking like 10, 9, 11, 12. I think kobolds are cool. Don't know anything about the cute bolds. What are cute bolds? I mean, I just assume it's cute kobolds, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. The bearded gamer dressed as Hitman for 6 years in a row. Hell yeah! That's really cool. I love like, and it's probably not that difficult too. You just need like a sharp suit. Nucci, yeah, we did kill all of the kobolds. Yes, Joan of Arc is great. Yes, she is. Genghis Khan is who you would meet. What would you ask Genghis Khan if you could meet them? Because I have a lot of questions, but what would you?
Yeah, so many questions.
I would want to meet an ancestor of mine from Scotland and find out why he took to the seas. That's cool. And 10th Doctor, hell yeah, it's my favorite Doctor.
Is 10th Doctor Matt Smith or David Tennant?
That's David Tennant. Matt Smith is 11.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I do not have a 10th Doctor cosplay, but I do have an 11th Doctor cosplay because I found a tweed jacket and a pair of red suspenders. And so I've definitely pulled off like a femme 11th Doctor for a convention before, but I just can't. The 10th Doctor is like such a specific outfit with the pinstripe suit and the trench coat, like it's a lot harder for me to pull off.
Yeah. Pull off? You can pull off anything.
Well, it's harder to find the pieces. Like you have to, I pull a lot of my cosplays from like thrift stores. I do a lot of thrift store shopping.
Yeah.
I try not to purposely go out and like buy the exact piece for a cosplay because I feel like it looks more realistic if you use like real clothing and kind of more interpret it. So all of my like 11th Doctor stuff I was able to find at a thrift store, but the 10th Doctor has some like very specific pieces that it's a lot harder to find.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So next is Miller. I have your career reading here. And so in your past you have the Two of Wands, in the present is Temperance, and then in the future is Page of Swords. So in the past, the Two of Wands refers to like when you're doing a work or a career, it's kind of like you see he's like starting off on a path and then it like forks in two ways. So the Two of Wands talks about like when you start a new project or like a new job and you're like the initial like adrenaline of like being excited about a new idea is starting to fade, and now it's like putting in the work. So maybe like you started your own business, or maybe you started like a new job at a company, but you had to like start walking down that path, and then you came to a fork in the road where you had to decide, okay, do I continue at this job or do I do something else? Or there's like a decision. It could be like deciding like two paths about your job, like if you want to go down this road or this road. It could mean like deciding to give up on a personal project and then like getting like a normal job. It's just basically like you had a big decision that you had to decide like right at the beginning of a new job or a project. And that decision that you made, whatever path you took, has greatly affected like and brought you to where you are today. And today in the present card you have Temperance, and this is very much like everything in moderation. This is self-discipline. This is knowing when to be indulgent and when to be like restrictive on yourself. So it seems like now, like currently in your career, you have to be disciplined in a lot of different ways. Maybe it's like when to spend money and when to hold back. Maybe it's, you know, when to give yourself some free time and when you need to buckle down and work. But either way, whatever like career, that like thing that you're working on right now is really forcing you to like hold yourself in check a lot. And you really have to like keep yourself disciplined. You have to like manage your own time. You really have to be your own boss in whatever you're working on right now. And that's what's like helping you with your success, because being able to time manage yourself and being able to like really hold yourself in check is what's really, really helping you like stay efficient and stay working, and like that's what's leading you down the path of success right now. And if you don't have that temperance, if you're not keeping yourself in check, or if you're letting yourself have too much free time, you'll start to notice things slipping. So that's like a warning to like make sure that you stay up to date and keep yourself in check. And then in your future is the Page of Swords. So this could refer to a young child. It could refer to like a young person who is very like thinks in black and white, very intelligent, stoic, more like head over heart, logic over emotion. Or it could mean news that's been delayed. So maybe there's like a bit of news that you're waiting on. And like you feel like you can't move forward in life until you get this bit of news, but it just isn't coming through, or like it's being delayed for some reason. So, you know, staying with that temperance and like that patience and that like holding that self-discipline and integrity is what's going to be the most helpful to you in the future when things, you know, when you feel like you want to be impatient because whatever news you're waiting for your career isn't coming yet. And it seems easy like when we're waiting to like let things slide or let things slip, but what this is telling me is like all of that self-discipline and all of that patience and temperance that you're showing now in the present is going to help you in the future when things aren't moving quite as quickly as you feel like they should. And like don't let impatience let you become lax, and don't let things slide through that impatience, and that will help you be successful into the future with your career. So it's just a little warning and some good news that like all of your hard work is paying off and all your temperance. Yeah, no joke. I'm waiting on a call from my boss since I'm a hired hand. Yeah, so it seems like that Page of Swords is definitely what you've like gotten used to in your daily career life, but it's all about, you know, as someone who's a hired hand, it's that temperance, it's that self-discipline, and that like you holding yourself accountable to yourself that's going to keep you being successful and keep your like boss knowing that you can be depended on. So just keep that with you always, and like don't, you know, hold that true to yourself, and that'll help you be more successful. Yeah. Hope that helped. And then next is the Beard Gamer Laku. If you would sound off in the chat and let us know what kind of reading you would like. we'll do a quick shuffle.
It's shuffle.
Love reading. Hell yeah! Finally got a love reading. Where's Cowboy? Someone's not a coward in Cowboy's eyes. Yeah. We did get some readings that were general that definitely like swayed love. So it hasn't been only general, but it's nice to see. We'll put that energy into the deck and we'll see what it gives us.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Another question to ask. Unless someone else has a question to ask.
Yeah, unless anyone else has any questions they want to ask. Gianna will come up with one while I shuffle and concentrate on love.
Ooh, my computer is about to die.
Uh-oh. We kind of need you.
I know, I kind of need to be here.
Can't give up on me yet.
Okay, where is my charger? I had it. Oh, there it is, okay. Huh. Okay. We're fine, we're good, we're good.
Miller is up and on the road shortly after the sun and headed home when it's gone down. That's long days. That's incredible. Wow. Yeah, temperance definitely. Like, that self-discipline and that hard work ethic is... Phew! Holy crap. That serves you really well, I'm sure. Did anyone else have any questions they wanted to pose to us while I'm finishing
and while
this shuffle?
Gianna puts the charger in her computer.
Hard work most days, but worth it. Yeah, I mean, literally, like, people can't survive without hardworking farmers, you know? Like, it's definitely, you see the fruits of your labor, literally, because, you know, when they say, like, you reap what you sow, you quite literally reap what you sow.
Is this true?
TK asks, who's your favorite superhero or villain?
Ooh. Shoot.
Do you have, like, just one off the top of your head?
I don't. Favorite superhero or villain? I think superhero, maybe Spider-Man.
Spider-Man is your favorite?
Yeah. Can't go wrong. I love him, and I also love Tom Holland so much.
I mean, that definitely helps. Liking the actor helps, like, the
100%.
Yeah. I don't relate to a lot of the superheroes in the MCU as it is now. I mean, most of the, like, strong female MCU characters are, like, the X-Men. And we haven't obviously gotten, like, too far into that yet because of all of the licensing issues. And I haven't read a lot of the comics since I was really little. But my favorite, like, Marvel character, I think, is Valkyrie. Because I am also an alcoholic. And she's sassy and, like, strong, and I relate to her a lot in a lot of different ways.
Oh my god.
Favorite character concept for a D&D or RPG character? I made a character that I really, really liked the concept of, but she was definitely, like, in the wrong campaign because her, like, personality didn't mesh with the other characters, and we were doing Icewind Dale, so it was a lot of, like, survival and frostbite and crap. And she was definitely more of a meme character, so she did not fit in at all, but I'll probably recycle her in another campaign. She was a, oh my gosh, what are they called? It starts with a K. It's like the race of people that are, like, half dream being. Kalashtar. She was a Kalashtar sorceress. And I ended up, like, multi-classing her to have, like, more and, more psionic stuff. So, like, she had a lot of mind reading. She had a lot of, like, sending messages mentally. Rook got me Kalashtar, yeah. So she was a Kalashtar sorceress with, like, the psionic, bend to her. And, I ended up naming her Sonic because she was psionic. Which is a stupid name, but I couldn't think of anything better. But basically, her personality was like Luna Lovegood. Like, she had these, like, really dreamy, like, silver eyes that weren't ever quite focused. And she, like, I had it kind of like in her personality that she could see into other people's dreams, and like she could see a bunch of things that no one else could see, but you never really knew if she could actually see them, if it was just like a little psycho. So she would just say like silly things like, oh, there's dreamfish floating around your head right now, and she talked like that because I don't know why. And then, yeah, I ended up playing her in a Icewind Dale campaign that was very serious, and there was a lot of, like, death and, frostbite and people freezing to death, and so it wasn't that fun to play her in that campaign, because all of my, like, joking Luna Lovegood stuff did not play out well, but I would love to refresh her in another campaign.
I love that.
Yeah.
I like the Luna Lovegood, like, aspect.
Yeah. I definitely wanted to play up the fact that like she was half in a dream at any given time.
Yeah. I don't have like necessarily like.
You were just mentioning that like sometimes you make characters in Hero Forge. Do you have one that you made recently that you'd love to play?
There's a couple that I've thought about. I really want to play like a pixie, obviously. Like a pixie druid. Like Circle of Dreams or something.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then if not that, then I would probably want to play like what is it? A satyr. Is satyr like a playable class yet or no?
I think so.
I think it's just, is it satyr or
it might be a homebrew, but I think like I've seen satyr and like centaur races. So I think they're either coming out or they're being like play tested right now to eventually come out officially.
Okay. I would probably want to play a Furbolg or satyr bard who's like in her like middle-aged kind of woman, and she's like very like bougie, but like she's out here trying to support her family kind of shit, you know?
Yeah. Well, and like bard satyr, that's just like meant to be because, you know, in all of Greek mythology, they were Bacchanalian, reveling theater, playing the like, you know, panpipes and everything. So that would be so fun. I would love to play a centaur. I just like centaur. They're like one of my favorite fantasy like creatures. I would do it.
Yeah, centaurs are sick. And whenever I think of a centaur, I always think of Alex saying "dump truck ass."
Oh my god! Yeah, that takes us back.
It's a satyr, but with a dump truck ass.
But with a dump truck ass, yeah. So a few months ago, we had like a funny stream where we played the dating game, but with monsters from the Monster Manual. So all of our players had to sit and talk about like fuck, marry, kill, satyrs and centaurs and shambling mounds. Super funny, definitely 18 plus. But it is up on YouTube. If that sounds like something, you know, if you're like, can a mimic get it? You should check it out. The dating game.
It's really funny.
Monster Mash on our YouTube and watch through that because there's a lot of good bits in there.
Don't mind me. I was just very little drunk and also was just spewing out stuff that I probably shouldn't have said, but I did say on the stream. I
mean, if you're not a little drunk when you're talking about banging Monster Manual monsters, like...
Are you even doing it right?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I feel like you should and have to be drunk, so...
Yeah, exactly.
To answer KR Meteor, our list has closed for the night. We're just finishing up the people that are already on our queue, and then we're going to call it a night, but we're going to be back with more tarot hopefully next week. And I guess this is as good a time as any for me to talk about this, but we're now planning to do Tarot Corner weekly every Saturday at 9. Sometimes with both me and Gianna, and then sometimes maybe like with a rotating cast of people. We'll see how that works, but at least with one of us every week on Saturday at 9. So if you didn't get on the list today, feel free to watch next week on Saturday and jump in the queue right away at the beginning of the stream and get your reading done then.
Yeah.
And we'll see you then. Check out
It'll be
the
fun.
Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica has centaurs and loxodons. Okay, yeah, so I couldn't quite remember, but yeah, centaurs are official, and then I think satyrs are either in one or coming out soon. But speaking of jumping on that list,
Rook, yes. Sorry, I was in my throat.
Ooh. Breathe. Yes, all of our old tarot episodes are on YouTube as well, which I will post one more time. So if you ever want to, go back and like check out one of your past readings, like, you know, maybe if it didn't make sense when you had it, and then, you know, it plays out, and then you can kind of go back and rewatch and see how it all worked. So you can, obviously this one, it's not going to be up immediately because of Twitch's affiliate program. We have to wait at least 24 hours, but it will be up on the YouTube, and you can watch it again there. But speaking of readings, the Beard Gamer, it is your reading now. We have a love reading for you, and in your past you have the Four of Wands, in the present Two of Pentacles, and in the future Five of Swords. So in the past, Four of Wands, this is talking about a place of stability. You'll see that the Four Wands are structured enough that they can kind of act like four walls, and they're able to hold up this kind of like lattice ceiling. So the Four of Wands talks about like you are reaching a place of stability where you can kind of start to relax and be comfortable. So in a romantic sense, this can be like you have reached that point in a relationship with somebody, or you had reached a point in the past where you started to become comfortable with them, and you started to feel like you could, you know, start to build those walls of like a home life or a comfortable life where you were comfortable resting and relaxing with them. And whether this, you know, continued into the present, or whether that relationship, and it could even not necessarily be a romantic one, could be like a familial relationship. But in the present, you have the Two of Pentacles, and this is talking about like love, life balance. So you see the man is kind of juggling these two pentacles, and he is having trouble balancing love life versus like career, work, other aspects of life. So this is just maybe warning you in the present, like whether you're in a relationship and you're having trouble finding like personal time with that person at the same time as you're doing life and work and all the other things, or maybe you're not in a relationship right now, but you're having trouble finding a balance of seeking out or like finding a new partner versus all the other things that life is throwing at you. Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe you've gotten too deep into your relationship and you're starting to put your relationship above other life things. Like, you know, no one wants to be that friend that like blows off their friends for, you know, a significant other at the last second. So
don't be that person. Don't be that person.
Yeah, if you made plans with your friends, do the plans with your friends. So it's, you know, it's talking about you found this like this contentment, this comfort, either in a relationship or like within your own life. And now in the present, you have to make sure to maintain that balance, make sure that you are finding equal parts love and the rest of your life. Yeah, that would be my ex back when I was 18 that ended badly, sadly, which brings me to the present. That relationship kind of stayed single for 12 years. Yeah, especially like when we're younger, those first few relationships can really like impact us in ways that can make us really have to rethink what we want out of life. And, you know, as sad as it is when it ends badly, it can also really help us to reflect on like what we do need and what we do want, and make us realize that we need to, you know, work on ourselves more, or really work and reflect on what we want before we just jump into another relationship. And then that brings us to the future. So the Five of Swords, and this card is kind of talking about like mistrust and deceit. So in a love reading, this can kind of refer to like jealousy or suspicion. And it kind of warns that like being distrustful or being distrusting is not like positive, and it doesn't really like help us at the end of the day. So, you know, when it comes to relationship, like unless you have really, really good evidence, or like unless you have like a good reason not to trust your partner, like jealousy is not really super healthy in a relationship, and like you want to make sure that you build a foundation based on trust and communication and not hide anything from your partner. So because it's in the future, obviously like nothing's happened yet, and it's not saying anything will happen, but it's just like a good warning to reflect, like if you're feeling those feelings of jealousy or if you're feeling mistrust, like make sure that you're communicating and you're building that solid foundation now, and so that you can have that trusting and loving and lasting relationship, because a foundation of like jealousy and mistrust is not going to be a relationship that lasts at the end of the day. So finding that, you know, balance between life and love, and building that communication, and making sure that that relationship is healthy and stable, so that it doesn't grow to be a place where you're mistrusting or jealous, is what's going to be like the most healthy for you at the end of the day. So just, you know, wise words of warning. That was a mouthful. Just to keep an eye out for, but, you know, we can make the change and be healthy today, so that that's not anything you have to worry about later. And hopefully that helps. Okay. So as we mentioned before, we're going to kind of prioritize those that haven't gotten their readings yet, and we are hitting upon midnight. So TK, if it's okay with you, we're going to jump ahead to the 2 that haven't gotten a reading yet. But we do hope that you join us for tarot next week to get another one. And that being said, if TX Slot Addict is still in the chat, please let us know, and let us know what kind of reading that you would like. And then after that, we're going to have Simba's Bloody Mojo, and then we're going to kind of wrap it up for the night.
TX is not in the chat.
TX is not in the chat. Okay. So then Simba's Bloody Mojo, let us know what kind of reading you would like.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, hey, look at that. People are getting bought closer and closer to gaining a proficiency. So if you haven't joined us on Wednesday, one of the characters in our D&D campaign is playable by the audience. The audience is voting in the chat to like make decisions for that character. And our current goal is to get enough Twitch points so that bot can gain a proficiency. And then that proficiency will be voted on by the audience as well, so they can decide, you know, what bot is going to be beefed up on. So it's all your choice, and it's all like through the audience that bot gets more and more powerful as a D&D character. Thank you for joining us, Beard Gamer. It's really nice to see you. Thank you for hanging on and being patient. And Simba's Bloody Mojo would like a general reading. And yeah, it's 12 here, past 2 a.m. for you. We appreciate you staying in the chat this whole time, and hope you get some sleep, and we'll hopefully see you next week. It's 1 a.m. for you. Yeah, it's crazy to me how many people we have in like vastly different time zones. I feel like we have more people in later time zones. Oh, 2 a.m. Wow, that's even later.
Oh my god. Yeah.
We have more people in like other time zones than we do in our own, I feel like.
Yeah,
like
it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, most of our viewers are like East Coast or like Midwest. I feel like we barely have any people that are in the same time zone as us. 3 a.m. there. Holy wow. Well, thanks for sticking around and chatting with us. It's really nice to have someone to talk to this late at night.
Yeah, my little insomnia people.
Our little insomniacs, yeah. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up soon. This is our last reading, and then everyone can get to bed, including us. So.
Woo!
Can you come and kidnap me to Cali?
Yeah, literally get over here right now.
Yeah, if you want to come kidnap yourself to Cali, we do not endorse kidnapping of any kind. But like Magic Carp, if you want to get up and move and come join us, we'd love to have you in our time zone for sure.
Yeah. Please. I don't even know. Bot was trying to gain a proficiency. I have so many Twitch points.
You are not bot. You save your Twitch points.
I know, but
all of the players.
I have
sabotaging.
55,000.
Okay. I mean, yeah, you could throw some in. I think there's a cap to it anyway.
Yeah, there is. It's 2,000.
Yeah, so like no one can really dump a whole lot all at once. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta work for it.
Getting a proficiency.
Ooh, this is good.
Ooh.
This is good.
What is it?
We're seeing a lot of new cards that we haven't got yet today.
Ooh.
Okay. So this is for Bloody Mojo, Simba's Bloody Mojo. In the past, you have the Six of Pentacles. In the present, the Two of Swords. And in the future, the World. So for general reading, Six of Pentacles is talking about just, it's the generosity card. So in your past, either you have shown yourself to be a very generous person and really paid it forward, or you got to where you are today through the generosity of others. And, you know, no one, again, makes it to where they are without the help from others. So it's kind of like a reminder to, like, look back on who has helped you along the way and make sure that you're keeping them in your thoughts and thanking them. And, you know, when you are in a place of comfort and, you know, where you can pay it forward, make sure that you are doing that, because no one can make it in life alone. So, you know, in the past, you were really helped by someone, to a point now where you're a little bit more comfortable. But in your present, you have the Two of Swords. And this is about feeling like you're stuck and kind of like at a standstill and not really sure what to do. It's kind of this like really this feeling of like being trapped and like stuck between two things and feeling kind of frozen in that indecision. But the positive thing about it is that the woman in this card kind of has this blindfold on, but her hands are free. So at any time she can reach up and take that blindfold off. And it's kind of talking about like when you feel trapped in indecision, it's usually because you're emotionally kind of caught up into the decision. But the swords are all about logic over emotion. So what this card is saying is like you can reach up and tear that blindfold off, and like you need to take a step back and look at it critically and kind of separate yourself emotionally from the problem and just look at it logically, because I think that whatever that decision is that you're struggling over, if you can separate emotionally from it and just looking at it from like a logical and a rational standpoint, the answer is a lot easier than it seems. And so this card is also only a Two of Swords, so the decision is not like life-changingly, alteringly like scary. Like it's just something that like if you just take a deep breath, take a step back and really look at this decision critically, the answer will become clear and you'll know what you need to do. And then in your future is the World, which is a major arcana card that is hugely powerful. I'm gonna look it up because I know that there's like several interpretations for it, but from my understanding, it's basically like literally having the world at your feet, like everything that you want and everything that you need coming about.
My book says you've got the world at a string. The final card of the major arcana, the World, represents completion. In the four corners, we have the four elements. And on my deck. I'm not using my deck.
That's cool.
But it's just saying like let the wide world spin, and that you've got the world in your hands, and you know, you take that and use that to your own advantage.
Yeah, and mine also says, like, the World card is the assurance of success, victory, triumph. Now, it doesn't mean overnight success. You still have to, like, and obviously, like, it's also in your future. So this is something that, like, you are striving to achieve, that success, that victory, that triumph, like, that thing that you want. You're assured that success, but you just have to keep working at it in your present. It's about working steadily towards that goal, and then you achieve it, and that reward is well-deserved. So, you know, whatever this decision is in your present that is really kind of like having you frozen in fear, if you can just, you know, like the woman with the blindfold, if you can just take a step back and rip that blindfold from your eyes and really look at that decision critically, keeping in mind, I think, in your past, being generous and all the people that have been generous to you, and like keeping that kindness and that goodness in your heart, whatever that thing that you're trying to get to, your victory is assured, and it's not going to be immediate. You have to keep working for it, but if you just keep walking every day towards that goal, freaking powerful card says you're going to get it, and that's great. And I'm glad that it's built upon a foundation of generosity as well, because it seems like, you know, it's well deserved. Good things come to good people. So that's your reading.
Very true. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for those that have, you know, stayed up till 2 a.m., 3 a.m. to watch us. And once again, we are going to start having tarot weekly. We're going to do Tarot Corner every Saturday at 9. Sometimes it might be with just me, sometimes me and Gianna, maybe sometimes like a special guest. But we're going to keep going through and doing the tarot readings for you guys. And now that we're doing it more often, you know, you can come back and get even more tarot readings. So really excited about that, and can't wait to see you all next time. And have a great rest of your night, everybody.
Yeah, thanks guys for joining.